terminal.
RCP chamber pressure looks good. Doubling up. Roger, roll, Atlantic.
Water towers can fly! Yes!
Tango Delta nominal.
Flight downside, speed off. Bring in, SCE off. Off. Yikes. You bet. Concur. We don't need any more of these.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. You guys know the drill. If you guys can give us a 5x5 in the chat, make sure that you can hear me. Make sure that you can see what we're seeing. My name is DK, or Derek. With us in the studio here today, we've got Mr. Adrian Beal.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. How are you doing, Adrian?
I'm doing great because we see some Starship testing maybe
We're
today.
doing a little bit of engine testing today.
Yes, I'm excited.
And then we also have Jack. Jack, how are you doing?
Doing good. Got up at 3 this morning for
I know, my goodness.
Starlink, and now we're rolling right into Starship testing. So let's do this. Get some engines fired or tested or what have you, and get some sweet, sweet data.
Absolutely, it's super exciting. Now with more engines. As always, you guys. So if you can give us an @NASA Spaceflight in the chat, then we'll be able to see what you are commenting for us a little bit earlier.
Yeah, if you have any questions, don't forget @NASA Spaceflight, and we'll be able to see it pop up. I did want to, really quick, we had a couple people super chat, and we had a new member at the end of the Starship Scrub stream earlier this morning, and we didn't get to those. So just really, Starlink Scrub. Everything's a star something. So yeah, just really quickly, Peter West, thank you for the support on that stream. Space Wolf, thank you for the support. Rough Riders, thank you. Philip, thank you for the support. And Nathan, thank you for becoming a Capcom member. We hope you enjoy your perks, including Discord access. But yeah, I just wanted to get those out of the way real quick, just so that those people got acknowledged. Thank you for the support on the Starlink stream. I almost said Starship again. God.
You've had an early morning. I nearly forgot, and you'll have to forgive me. Michael, also in the background here, pulling all the switches and levers, making sure that the stream is working. Thank you very much, Michael, for being here as well.
The clock is going to be correct in 30 seconds.
Oh, the clock is off, yeah.
Oh, there it is. It's 6 now. Sorry.
You're good. Clock's getting sorted out. All right. So I'm over here just waiting for my our little program here to populate with some of the questions that you guys have coming in. So the pad's already been cleared, correct?
Yep, pad's clear.
That is correct.
All right. So the next thing that we're looking for is for the recondenser, correct?
Sure enough.
All right. So tell us what would be the indicator of that visually for people who have maybe not watched engine testing before.
It's in the vicinity of those 3 vertical black tanks. It's actually right behind them.
On that left side there?
Yep. But Adrian, I don't know if you want to go into recondenser a little bit more.
Yeah, it usually starts about 45 to 50 minutes before T0. Is right behind these 3 tanks, as Jack just mentioned, and you will see that it is active by a constant white cloud that is emitting from the right side of these tanks. So watch for a white cloud from the right side of the tanks, and then you know the countdown of today's test started. So yeah, that's the next thing we are waiting for.
Good stuff. Can't wait.
Right on. Let's see here. So I'm just going through. I don't have our panel up yet.
Yeah, earlier on Starbase Live, we could see one of the dishes from the tracking station slew and point at the test site.
Oh, really? I love it. That's great.
So yeah, all signs pointing to moving into testing here early.
Okay, here we go. Now all the questions have just rolled in, and there's many already. Let's see.
Has DOS been assimilated by the robot army yet? Says Thomas. Now I'm picturing like a Borg DOS. Not far off.
So from someone else asking, do you think it'll be all 6 engines or 3 sea level Raptors followed by 3 vacuum Raptors?
So
their name is actually someone else.
Their name is someone else. Yeah.
Go ahead, Adrian.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we should start with the fact that there are 6 engines now below ship 20, which maybe some people missed. So there's 3 vacuum Raptors and 3 sea level Raptors below the ship. But as of right now, we don't know what they really wanted to do with engine testing. We only knew because of the fact that Mary got a overpressure notice that there will be some sort of engine testing. So we don't know how many engines will be involved and what exactly. Could be a pre-burner, could be a static fire. We will we'll have to wait for that.
Yeah, I mean, what did we see last time? We saw a pre-burner test, and then we saw a firing. So maybe a pre-burner test first, maybe a firing after that, maybe a series of firings, ? Who knows? Incrementally building up to more, or heck, maybe they'll just go straight to 6.
I mean, that's what they did with the first test series, right? They first fired 1 engine and then 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, who knows?
All right, flipping through some of the questions here. Here's one that someone put up here. So we get this question all the time, and I wish that we had a better answer. But why is B3 still on the suborbital pad?
They just haven't gotten around to scrapping it yet, is my guess.
That's the best that we have. We don't really know exactly why the remnants of Booster 3 are still there.
Yep.
They're converting it into a water tower. I'm joking.
Either you live long enough to see yourself get fired, or you get converted into a water tower. I don't know.
Yes.
All right. Some super chats rolling in from Sammy Miami saying, "Hey DK, love hearing you run a stream. How many tiles do y'all think they're gonna lose today?" Boy.
A non-zero amount.
I was gonna say not none. Yeah, I don't know. The tiles continue to worry me, to be honest.
I think there will be some tiles that will still be on it, and they won't lose, and they will lose some. So somewhere between none and all.
It's it's not a satisfying answer, but yeah, they're going to lose some tiles. It's not a big deal. Of the thousands of tiles on it, if they lose like 10, it's something that surely needs to be fixed, but it's not the end of the world. This is a prototype vehicle, and they're figuring these things out, and that's what this vehicle is for finding out exactly what happens and figuring out solutions to those problems as they arise.
Absolutely. I mean, that's why they were doing the testing, right?
Precisely.
Okay, so let's see. From JSF Productions, what is the difference between preburner and static fire?
Preburner is there's 2 of them in Raptor, and they are basically smaller engines that use the same fuel as Raptor that power the turbo pumps, which pump the propellant to the combustion chamber. So a preburner is sort of just like the starter, and the main combustion chamber does not ignite. It just gets up to that point by testing the 2 little preburners that power the LOX and methane into the combustion chamber. So it's short of a full burn, and you can note that usually we can tell the difference because a preburner test will not generate significant thrust, and you can note that thrust has been generated by when you see a static fire where that main combustion chamber lights up, you get a nice big cloud of dust around the vehicle.
All right. From Maru Ohan, is there any reason to fire all 6 engines at once? Would all 6 actually fire at the same time during flight at some point?
Yep.
They would probably right after they my god, what it's called? Miko? Yeah. After, like after the cutoff, when the upper stage ignites, they would probably fire all 6 to minimize gravity losses and just get away from the planet faster and use all the 6 and the thrust of all 6 because ISP is not everything. Sometimes you need thrust.
Yeah, it makes sense. You don't want to just be carrying those engines as dead weight. You can use them to minimize those gravity losses and ultimately be more efficient in that way. Even though 3 of the engines aren't vacuum optimized, it's still better to fire all 6 at once.
Sure. All right, so I like this one from Andrew Munsell. $5 super chat to rent/buy a pirate ship to watch the orbital launch.
Nice.
It's a little bit better than a kayak for you. All right. Man, I saw a question on here, but we were getting so many that I have now lost it because I didn't click on it enough, and then it went away. Let's see. Oh, this one's interesting. From Trigev Skarin. Yep, just butchering the names today.
You're getting all the hard names today.
I know. This is very, very tough in the morning here. Was any of the Raptors that were fired during the last static fire on S20 switched out?
That is a good question.
I know. I don't know.
Really
I'll ask these
thinking
guys.
hard right now. The thing is that there were a lot of movement with Raptors because it seems like there were also some movement on the booster Raptors.
Yep.
So I kind of lost track which Raptor left the launch site and which joined the launch site. I'm not sure, actually.
I don't recall having seen any uninstalled, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
I could be wrong. Like Adrian said, there was some movement with the booster Raptors, and I lost track a little bit. But we definitely hear Paul Kelly in chat makes a very good point. Not sure about the Raptor centers, but we would have noticed an RVAC moving for being uninstalled for sure.
That's fair. Much longer engine though.
I would say I'm like 90% sure that we didn't see an engine getting uninstalled. I don't remember it at least.
Yeah, I totally agree, but always got to hedge because I am fallible.
Yeah, same.
From Remy Turk, a €10 super chat. When do you expect the first booster static fire? This year? Question mark. Hashtag when booster burn.
Well, we've had one with booster 3, right? But on the orbital mount, we have not yet. So the next booster static fire, I could see it happening this year, yeah. But hard to say. What do you think, Adrian?
I think right now the focus, obviously, is pretty much on ship 20, but we see some propellant deliveries to the orbital launch site and to the tanks there, which most likely will be used for a booster static fire. So there is some action there, and we also with what is needed here is probably they need the chopsticks to lift the booster. So yeah, I could see it maybe after they're done with ship 20 with the testing campaign. But this year, I would bet on this year. Yes.
I'm being DM'd that they did not remove the 2 Raptors from the previous static fire campaign. So all Raptors are the same.
All right, great.
They did install all the the remaining 6, but the 2 that were on there from the last static fire.
Yeah, I knew that they'd put more on. I didn't know if those had been swapped out for any reason. So those ones that have already been fired are still on the vehicle.
Yep.
Thrilled Will is asking, is this a Raptor vacuum Raptor test or a normal Raptor test?
We don't know.
We don't know.
Could be one or the other or both, right?
Yeah. We will find that out in the fullness of time. Oh, this is interesting. From Emily, could the 6 engines be as loud as Saturn V, or would only the booster be able to reach it? And by reach it, I think they mean the volume level of Saturn V. Yeah,
that would make sense. I do not feel qualified to say one way or the other.
I don't know enough about it. I mean, certainly I guess, do we have data, or the speculation is at least, that the booster is going to be the loudest rocket ever. Just with the as many of those Raptor engines as are going to be on there, it's going to be very, very, very loud. As far as what level the 6 engines are, if they fire all 6 at the same time, I don't know if we have that information.
I don't think the 6 of Starship would be Saturn V level. I think it might not even be Falcon Heavy level. So that's not necessarily a big deal. But the booster, the booster is going to be very loud. I don't even. I'm really trying hard to remember here what the draft environmental report
I
said.
know. I've got it up. I'm just like trying to flip through it real quick. 'Cause they had
remember-
numbers.
I remember it being in the area of Saturn V. I don't remember if it was over or under.
I
I
thought
know
it was
that's not
over.
a.
Oh, okay.
It might be. It might have been under. I'm
Oh.
not sure. I could be misremembering.
Well, then I'm just wrong then. Okay.
No, I mean again,
Yeah.
I'm guessing here. I generally have a good memory for something I've read, but I could be wrong. So, but
We could both be wrong.
it's certainly going to be very loud.
Yeah. Update. Has anyone counted exactly how many tiles are on chip 20? By the way, DK, try saying my name in 2 parts. Trigva. There we go. We
Nice.
Got him.
Got it. I don't know if someone has counted it. I have missed the count, and I know Ian was doing that for a time, but I think he had some work or school or something stuff come up, so he was unable to continue counting. But yeah, that's a really good question.
All right, getting into some super chats here. John Van Horn with a $5 super chat saying, "All this rocket talk makes me want tacos." It's not even Tuesday. All right. Jacob Rydell with a €10 super chat. Let's see. As a student at a chemistry school, learning about materials and stainless steel production it's incredibly interesting, and I can combine much of that with the Starship program. Greetings from Austria. Well, greetings, Jacob. Jakob, probably. Let's see. From Jorgen Iverson, with 50. What is that now? Goodness, one of the Kronas. Booster test stand to test the load of Starship on launch test? Question mark. I don't know.
Oh.
Exactly the question in there. Do you follow that?
There is this booster test stand where I think the 2.1 is placed in there, right? Right now.
Or they mean booster 3.
Oh, yeah. Could be both.
Swedish Krona, by the way, if it came to me.
So yeah, there is to just try to answer a question here. There is this booster test stand at the build site, and they recently put, I think, test tank 2.1 booster 2.1 test tank in there. But since then, I don't think there was anything happening with it. It just sat there. So far, none testing happened. But I would guess they would roll it out to the launch site before they do any testing, because I kind of doubt they would do any testing that could destroy something at the build site.
Sure.
But
we got Jeffrey Schockler as a new Capcom member. Thank you very, very, very much, Jeffrey. And then from Simcha Denderwitz, can SpaceX replace the heat tiles on Starship with some form of active cooling like the Space Shuttle RS-25 engines?
There was talk of like transpirational cooling at one point.
Oh, really?
Where the skin, the metal would like sweat methane, and that would provide some cooling. I mean, never say never. We went from these things landing on legs to being caught by a crazy tower called Mechazilla.
That's true.
So
that was a weird evening, by the way.
Yeah, right. And I forget, there might still be active cooling in some places, like the hinge route, or the where the static arrow is, or something like that. But as of right now, I think it's just heat shield tiles, and we'll have to wait and see if any kind of active cooling is utilized. But it certainly could be used, but I don't think is currently necessarily in the cards.
All right, from Noah Green, do you think that the booster is going to become a Raptor testing mount? Booster 3, excuse me, is going to become a Raptor testing mount like Starhopper was planned to be?
Nope. It's only a LOX tank. There's no methane tank part of it, and
yeah, they cut the rest off.
I don't see them putting any work into a old test article now to get it into a state where it's something else. I really do think the next thing we'll see happen to Booster 3 is it'll get scrapped.
Yeah. The sad but most likely explanation is still they just hadn't the time to scrap it.
Yeah, and honestly, in the crane, like the cranes are busy doing things at all times, whether it's lifting something or moving somewhere else to lift something in a different place. It's remarkable how active those things are, and I imagine just scheduling the human power and the crane to hold the pieces as they're cut, and I don't know. It's.
Well, I mean, it's where it is right now on the suborbital pad. It's just less in the way.
Yeah, they don't need that pad right now for anything, so they're good to go.
From Andrew, go ahead.
I was just thinking, I do wonder what that's going to look like when they finally do scrap it. It's an extremely tall vehicle, or remains of a vehicle, so it's just going to be it's going to be an interesting sight when they finally get around to it. I wonder how much of the delay is a logistical challenge, in the sense that they're kind of like, well, we cut off the top part with all the connections that a crane attaches to. Now what do we cut off? I'm sure they could just weld, some attach points or something on there. But yeah, I'm curious what that's going to look like when they finally do scrap it.
Yeah, I don't know. This one. Oh goodness, where to go here? Oh, here it is. So from Andrew Gibson. Any guesses on how many engines Super Heavy will use for its landing slash catch? I don't know if we know that information on any official capacity, and they might not know that information yet. And we're far away from an actual landing or catch. The plan as it stands right now is to just have the booster drop into the ocean.
Yep.
Yeah, but I could see them doing like a soft water landing, for example, just to simulate what they normally would do.
Sure, but then I mean, so I guess then the question is, how many engines do you think that it would use for launch? Because like we're talking about Falcon 9 and all of because they use, what is it, 3 engines for their landing, correct?
Yes, they have free landing engines, like 3 engines that are involved in the whole landing process.
Yeah, somebody should make a video about that one.
Yeah,
they've changed their setup
Tease.
a couple different. They've changed their setup a couple different times with that. Like sometimes they would do like a 3 and then a 2 and then a 1, or I'm not quite sure what the current setup is with that. But for landing, I'm sure someone has done the math and figured out Super Heavy weighs X amount, Raptor has this much thrust, so I think what would that be, like 3 Raptors or something minimum to land so yeah, James in chat is saying 300 tons as opposed to 130 tons of ship, so there you go.
Less than all, more than none is what we could confirm.
It's always 3. Chat is saying 3. It's always 3.
Thrust is 3?
Yeah.
It's always 3 for the Super Heavy?
No, we're just joking around. We're being stupid.
Oh, okay.
This is not the commentator set up for getting serious math answers. It's the one that makes the jokes.
David Suarez asking, is SpaceX using the orbital tank farm?
Not for this.
For this test?
Yeah. For this one.
This will be suborbital. I think the orbital tank farm is still sort of getting built out and everything. We've started to see LOX and nitrogen loaded into it, so it's definitely coming online.
It's
but
getting there.
For this, we're on suborbital pad B, and we're using the suborbital tank farm.
This was actually one of the latest things today that happened before they cleared the pad. They had a LOX tanker there, and which filled up one of the orbital tank farm tanks. I mean, not filled up in the sense of it's full now, but filled up in the sense of it deployed some LOX.
So, from Doug Smith, when do you think we'll see Mechzilla raise the chopsticks? Love the coverage. Thanks, peeps. Thank you very much for watching, Doug. First off.
Well, they've been reeving the cable for a couple days now, maybe a week. So we got to be getting close to those chopsticks getting lifted. I mean, maybe in the next week or two. If I'm
That's
being,
sort of my guess too. Yeah.
I might be being too optimistic there, but that would be my guess.
I mean, we already saw them doing like horizontal movement, right? So from there, it's not that far off, I guess, to expect some vertical movement.
I'm
Yeah, I mean,
very excited to see the vertical movement.
They installed the block on the chopsticks, and they installed the. They've been well, not installing, but reeving the cable. Oh, look at this! We have
They
movement.
heard us.
We have movement on the test tank.
Yeah, and the 2.1 test tank, which we talked about 10 minutes ago.
I love that it's hiding behind the old remains of SN. What is that? Is that SN2? I think that's what that little tank is. I think that's SN2, which is hilarious. Interesting. So I wonder if they're gonna do any testing of this little guy today, or maybe they'll just move it to the launch site.
They could like line it up at the roadblock, and as soon as they are done with whatever testing they are planning to do, they could just do a rolling roadblock to the pad and roll it out with that.
Chat saying that's not SN2, it's GSE4. Now I'm all turned around.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, is SN2 not on the near the dishes? I'm thinking about that.
No, SN2's like out back of the production site. At least it was last I remember looking at it. So yeah, I mean, that might be GSE4.
Interesting.
So many,
Yeah, there's SN2.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that is
Test tanks galore. Cool. So it looks like it's moving slowly but surely.
All right, we got a couple super chats coming through. Tomcat Pedals saying, "Hope they run C/SpaceX/Starship stuff /LightAllEngines.exe." Like that one.
Condenser. That's the condenser.
Oh, there we go.
Okay. I can hear Adrian furiously typing in his spreadsheet from here.
I'm not needing typing anymore.
You just
because
evolved to have it in your mind, or
yeah, I just need to push a button at this point.
He has a neural implant. It's he like blinks twice with his right eye and then twitches his left arm muscle, and it
just gone full transhumanist. There you go.
Yeah.
No, I actually try to do some stuff with Visual Basic to automate it, so I only have to press buttons. But yeah, that's the recondenser. That means they're in a countdown, and they're trying to whatever testing they want to do.
Yeah, sure enough. This will be a big milestone. The first time they've tested engines on a Starship with all 6 engines installed. And getting into the process here of getting testing started and getting propellant flowing eventually into Starship ahead of whatever engine testing they plan on doing today. Exciting.
Oh man. Yes. I always love that moment when we see the tank farms coming to life.
Right, exactly. When just a little bit of a hint of the timeline, really.
Yes.
All right. Well, while we've got some time yet, let's go through the rest of these here. So, Flavius, thank you very much for becoming a Red Team member, a new membership on the channel. Appreciate you a bunch. FearFX2. I thought boosters probably, Boots and Starship were going for an orbital flight this month. Is it just Starship? ? We don't actually have a timeline for a full orbital flight quite yet. Right now, we're just doing some engine testing on Ship 20.
Sure enough, yeah, this is all in service of an orbital flight eventually, but who knows when that is actually going to take place, given the environmental assessment and just general readiness of the launch site. I mean, I could see the orbital launch site being ready, bare bones, for a orbital launch by the end of this year. It's definitely not ready yet.
Yeah, no, not at all.
But yeah, that environmental assessment is a whole thing. That's going to take some time. It's multiple government agencies. And then beyond that, there's also the matter of what that environmental assessment turns up. Whether or not they have to do the full. Oh my God, the term is escaping me now. If they have to do like a full. Oh gosh, but yeah, it could take a long time, and so I don't think we're going to see an orbital flight this month. Definitely not this month. Definitely, almost certainly not this year. But maybe early next year.
Yeah, and that's
which term are you using? By the searching away, I was in my spreadsheet. Sorry.
The environmental impact statement or whatever. Like there's the
environmental impact assessment.
Yeah, there's the
FONSI or ICE. Or what? The FONSI, the finding of no significant impact, and the ICE, the.
No, there's I think it's an environmental impact study because right now they're working under like a temporary thing that they want to get approved into a permanent thing, and there's like a. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's I don't know. Wow, look at that go!
Look at it go! Yeah,
they're pushing the pedal to the metal. They already tank farm. Wow, that was fast.
Adrian, I loved hearing you say they're pushing the pedal to the metal.
Yeah, sorry.
Great.
That's good.
All right, well, I'm going to keep on with some super chats while we're watching the recondenser here do its thing. Mike Hipperson with a £5 super chat saying, "Hi guys, regarding the problem of losing ablative titles, has Elon never heard of Gorilla Glue?"
Nice.
I like it. Well, the one thing with the tiles that they also want is for them to be very easily replaceable in the case of damage. Gorilla Glue would tend to preclude that.
Just to picture a tile worker like chewing some gum, sticking it to the steel.
Just sticking it on there, right?
Sticking a tile onto the gum. Yeah, that'll do.
All right. From Andrew Skelly, been waiting for days for the Frosty Talkie. Thanks for making a slow Friday better. Andrew, you're very, very welcome. Thank you for hanging out with us, and thank you for the $5 super chat.
Official name, Frosty Talkie.
Yeah, the Frosty Talkie. I like it.
Welcome to Frost Talk.
Where Steel Frost and we talk.
I've never wanted a early morning radio soundboard more.
What's that?
Yeah, choo-choo-choo-choo.
Chris Limier, why not perform at least one test flight using only a booster and a nose cone before risking the ship again? Coming in with a $5 super chat for that question.
I mean, I sure would like that. I think the cheap and easy answer is because that's not testing how you fly. It would be cool if they tested with a single, just a headless booster or a booster with a cone, and were able to, test catching with the tower that way. There's a variety of reasons why. I think, one, it would just look cool, and two, it would make sense. Is that the drone on screen right now, ascending?
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like the drone is going. But, no, I think they're just going to go for the full stack.
Yeah, well, it's sort of just like you said, they're never going to just fly the booster, right? So that's not a situation that they have to ever test for.
Yeah, I mean, unless you count landing, which that one might be the one reason why they might do it, is to do some kind of crazy test catch stuff where the booster doesn't actually fly up super high. I don't know if they would ever actually do that, but who knows?
From Ellen Rose, do you think that SpaceX will turn SN16 into an HLS mock-up?
Hey, that'd be cool. Probably not. I do wonder.
That'd be cool. Probably not.
I just think, like, why spend the time and resources when you don't necessarily have to? It's added complexity to do it as part of SN16. You can still mock things up either in VR or with discrete, little segments of something in a warehouse or in a facility somewhere. It don't necessarily need to turn a ship into a HLS mock-up. Also, it's not really a representative article because the Human Landing System Starship variant does not have flaps and all of that. It's just a cylinder and a cone. So yeah, I don't think they would do that, but it would be cool if they did. I would love them to see them do literally anything with SN16. I sure wish
Yep.
it had been used for something other than nothing.
Wow.
I mean, really, it was a build Pathfinder, I guess, at best, but they built it,
Yeah.
and moved on straight to 20.
Yep. They just
Scrapped
put the
17. I
design
think they
sheet.
skipped 18 and 19 almost completely. So yeah, straight to 20. Sometimes in my head, I'm like, all right, so technically SN15 was SN12, which makes ship 20 SN like 14. It's like, okay, I'll
Yeah.
stop. We're all going to go crazy. Just stop.
One here from Llama Squishy. Why is the ship larger than the booster? I thought the booster was larger. The booster that you're seeing over there on the left is Booster 3. That is mostly scrapped. It was disassembled, boy, like over a month ago now, wasn't it?
Yeah, I would say a couple months at this point.
ago. Yeah, a little while ago. And just has not been completed. That's the one that you're maybe seeing on the left. On the right, on the screen right now, we can see Booster 4 standing tall and proud in the background, and that is much, much bigger than Ship 20.
It's a
here we got-
parade.
Look at that. So we've got GSC 4 and the B 2.1 test tank both headed to the pad. Yeah, it's a parade.
That's very
It's a very slow parade, though.
There
But
needs-
it's
There needs to be a Starbase marching band that can lead
Yeah.
these sorts of things.
yeah.
interesting.
You only need like the tuba that is walking behind
just
them.
the tuba, like doop, doop, doop,
Yeah.
doop, 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 doop.
Yes.
Perfect.
All right,
And
from
the-
oh, go ahead.
Well, the tank farm is still doing its thing. Like I wonder if they're going to roll these out to the roadblock and wait, or if they're just going to send them straight to the pad. This is quite interesting. I bet they'll roll
Yeah,
to the
it's-
roadblock and wait.
Because we've got that recondenser happening, right? We've got the tank farm activity happening, which would indicate that we're approaching some sort of testing. For them to also be rolling things out to this area is a little interesting.
Yeah. The thing
Yeah,
is
I
with the
mean-
methane recondenser there, we know that there's methane, of course, active on the tank farm right now. So I doubt they would let anyone near that, because
No,
that's the
no.
reason that nobody is there. Because methane in itself is, not that undangerous.
Not undangerous. I like it.
So these guys are
Uh,
going to hang out at the roadblock and wait for the road to open. It's like, oh man, it's odd traffic if you happen to be stuck behind them, I imagine.
Right? Goodness. Thomas with
Boss,
a
believe me.
with a €2 super chat saying money for Adrian's Excel license.
Thank you.
From DWZ, £4.49. Kept me going for the last 18 months. Very grateful for your coverage. D-Dubs, thank you very much for the support. Appreciate you a ton. Thank you just for watching. All right, we got one from John Plyler. 2 questions. Number 1, will they move boosters and starships to and from Maxilla and use the chopsticks for lifting to and from the launch stand? And then number 2, would be great if SpaceX could cut up Booster 3 into pieces and then sell it as souvenirs.
I really wish they would do that. I would totally love to own some Starship stainless steel. That would be so cool. As for question number 1, to and from Mechazilla, I'm not sure quite what they're asking there, but yeah, the chopsticks are going to be what lift
Yeah.
boosters and ships. I imagine they're going to roll them with a modular self-propelled transporter, self-propelled modular transporter next to the tower, and then pick them up with the chopsticks.
Yeah, that's the plan for the chopsticks to do the stacking.
By the way, since the next milestone probably is coming up in 3 to 4 minutes, do you want it to like talk about what happens next?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, what are we
Let's-
looking at next?
Yeah, because what we are expecting, or like at least hoping for happening next, is fueling, which would be indicated by A, venting from the skirt or the lower parts of the vehicle, and B, the ground lines on the way to the vehicle freezing up. that are the next two things we are expecting. They should happening in about 3 to 4 minutes ish. And whoa, that's super chat.
Yeah, I was just waiting for you to stop talking.
Good old
Wow.
Bob. It's good old
Robert
Bob Hob.
Hobson with $299.99 saying hi before more meetings. Friday meetings are bad and they should feel bad. Robert,
Agreed.
thank you very much for the tremendous support. Goodness.
Yeah, thank you, Bob Hob. Very, very much appreciated. There's so many things to pay attention to. Look, they're venting.
Venting.
I want to continue to thank Bob Hob because holy cow, that's one heck of an amount of support there. But look at this, the ship is venting. And is that condensation coming from the skirt area?
Not sure yet.
I don't know.
The
Look at
problem is
the-
with the haze. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
Look at the tank farm
it
now.
can be an illusion.
Yeah, as it gets a little warmer out there. See, these cameras are coming in from a very, very long way away, and as it heats up, we can get more and more sort of
Turbulence
warbling.
there.
Yeah, more
Yeah.
turbulence.
I mean, if I see this now, I think there's not a skirt wind right now.
No,
Like I
not from
don't
this angle.
see yet.
Tank farm still doing its thing though.
Oh yeah.
But there, I think we can see the clouds closing up to the vehicle there, a bit. Like going into direction and leaving the tank direct area of the tank farm. But you can kind of see this the stirred wall there, and sometimes you can see the clouds creeping over that, as it, I think happens right there.
Yeah, here it goes.
Wow, that was timing. And that basically indicates that there's a line that goes to the vehicle that is slowly freezing up. So that's good. That's basically fueling. Like they're starting to fuel this thing.
Excellent.
All right, I got one here earlier. So from Katie Marie Young at NASA Spaceflight, the SpaceX stream of Crew 3 arriving on the ISS last night was awkward at best. SpaceX should pay you guys to do the coverage. You guys are brilliant. Love hearing DK on the streams too. Well, Katie, thank you very much for the compliment. And then, I mean, they've got their own teams, but I'm glad that you like our coverage.
Do 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 do.
Here comes the parade.
But it's cool to see that just because they're, I don't know, testing a ship right now, there's not a stop on the production side. They're
Yeah,
getting
right.
ready. Yeah, as soon as that is done, they just have the next step and just roll it out. That's cool to see.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the booster test structure or the structural test stand or whatever that thing is finally rolling out to the launch site. We've seen them building it for so long, and there it goes with booster or B2.1. I'm also kind of surprised to see GSC4 rolling back out. I mean,
Yeah.
have we seen it? Have we seen a test tank go to the production site and then go back to the pad before?
I don't.
I think maybe one of the 7.1 or something like that.
I think with the nose cone, some test tank was repaired.
Okay.
Where they just had a steel leak where the steel just popped in one area, and then they rolled it back, repaired it, and tested it again. But I don't know which of it was.
I'm waiting for somebody to DM me.
Yeah, I'm just looking at chat right now.
The guy driving the transporter pulls up to the sheriff, and he's like, "No, really, I'm allowed to go, I'm allowed to be here." And the sheriff's like, "You gotta wait." He's like, "No, really, I work for SpaceX."
Look at that tank farm. Whew.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
look at
what?
that. It's nice that we are getting some daytime engine testing.
Yeah, absolutely. You get to see things just a little bit better. Actually, a lot of bit better, really.
Can I offer another opinion to the day and night discussion? I
Please.
like night testing.
Do you
I
really?
do
So-
too, especially for
Yes.
engines.
Well, for
the
engines,
thing is-
sure. Yeah. once you get there.
With all the lights, you can see venting way better when it's night.
Oh,
So
that's fair. Yeah.
I like night testing. Sorry.
No, you're good. I understand. We've got a bunch of super chats rolling in. I'm gonna roll through these real quick. Gene Arnold with a $5 super chat. Thank you very much. Stucco Dude with a $5 super chat as well. Thank you. From Austin DeSisto, sending some love to the incredible work, keeping it up, Nick and Mary and all those on stream. Can't wait to make it back down there. Thank you very much for the $5 super chat, Austin. From Chris K, $5 super chat. So I just purchased my Starship plushie just now. However, I'm still wanting to know if we'll ever get an ugly Christmas sweatshirt from the NSF shop. I don't know that we have plans for that immediately, but that sounds like a pretty good idea.
Yeah, I don't want to. Thank you for buying the Starship plushie. Let's put it that way. We still have plushies in stock. They're still there. They exist. They're high. What was it? High. Oh man, I forget the joke. Anyways, we have Starship plushies. That's my incredible pitch for it.
There you go.
There you go, right there.
Oh,
Bam.
look at the pop-up. Ooh. Michael doing some work. Thank you, Michael.
Those are going to sell out.
I'm so excited to get mine.
Yes.
All right, from Rohan with 40 rupees. Love from India. Thank you very much, Rohan. Procrastination Station, become a new Capcom member. Thank you very much, Procrastination Station. Let's see, from Stucco Dude, can get googly eyes and little T-Rex arms on Mechzilla. Also, has there been any full movement testing on the arms? Full speed up and down? Not as yet. We were just talking about that.
We have skirt vents. Sorry. We can see condensation from the bottom of the vehicle. You can kind of spot it on the right side sometimes poofing off. So what that means is that the vehicle is cold at the bottom because there's some cold liquid in it. Yeah, so we are into propellant loading. This vehicle is getting fueled and has some fuel already in it.
The first time they've fueled a Starship with all 6 engines attached.
Oh man.
A moment in Starship history right here.
Yeah.
Want to know where are we in the countdown?
Yeah, what's your current estimate there, bud?
So I kind of wrote that on the article we had on site as well about what to expect from this testing, but I think this will be a slightly longer test if they really go for a 6-engine test, because usually the more engine involved, the countdown ticks up a bit, like only 1 or 2 minutes, but a bit. And so I would predict we are looking at 10:45 to 10:50-ish right now, based on what we see at the moment.
Very cool.
Maybe a bit more, like maybe just north of 10:50. But yeah, we will see.
Awesome.
All right, thank you. In the meanwhile, I'm going to keep on going for the super chats here to get these all covered. Rockwell Tory says, thanks NSF team for the live coverage. Godspeed 20 with a $10 super chat. Well, $9.99. From Micah Westman, stuck at home with a toddler with a fever. Thanks for giving us something to watch. He keeps on saying, look at the rocket daddy. Oh, I love it. That's adorable. And then Mary on it with a $5 super chat saying, the parade song that you're humming is Henry Mancini, the Baby Elephant Walk. The boom, 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 oh.
I mean, you look at those tanks moving and don't think that, and I will give you. I will give you $1. Disclaimer: I will not actually give you $1.
Just real slow and plotting here. Real quick, I'd like to thank the now 13,000 of us that we've got watching, preparing for the Starship 20 engine testing. Thank you guys very much for hanging out. Make sure you hit that like button if you're liking what you're seeing.
Yeah, we've got 13,000 watching, and we've got 2.2 thousand likes.
I mean, maybe they just forgot it's Friday. They're excited about weekend plans.
It's hard to find that button all tucked down there, all tiny and away.
By the way, just to underline that again, we we are not sure what exactly they will do here. We don't know if it's a preburner, if it's static fire, if it's 3 engines, if it's 6 engines.
It's engine testing is what we know.
Yeah.
We don't know. It could be. I mean, they could go from preburner to then full static fire, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So they could have both today.
We could also see what we also saw before is just static fire into static fire. Like,
Sure.
we don't know. It's possibilities all over the place.
And look at that, we have 1,000 more likes. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you everybody for hitting those like button. I appreciate you a bunch.
It's like the test tanks are like the new interns, and it's like, all right, well, come and watch the pro do the job, and then this is like on the job training. It's like they have to come out to the roadblock and watch.
All right, flipping through some of the questions. We got one from Jake Sleeman asking, will NSF Live ever be on Spotify? Talking about NSF Live, that is our Saturday show that we have.
I think they're asking about it as a podcast, which I do think should be a thing, but would definitely not be a Spotify podcast. It would probably just be a standard open podcast, not hosted through Spotify.
Well, it might be a little tricky because a lot of it is very often there's a visual element to it.
Yep.
So I don't know how much that would translate.
Yeah, one thing you can do,
Venting.
just what?
Sorry.
Venting?
We saw some venting again.
All right.
But it's again the lower vent that
Okay.
started for a second.
But yeah, one thing you can do with podcasts, just not often done, is you can have chapters, and as a chapter marker, you can have an image. So there could be an amount of imagery sort of displayed if someone was listening to NSF Live as a podcast, but it definitely wouldn't be the same. But either way, I think we should do some sort of podcast. But that's neither here nor there. What is here is Starship testing and tank movement.
Yeah.
Where? Okay, so they took a left turn there, heading down. What is that? LBJ.
You know the roads much more than I do. I haven't actually been down there yet.
It looks like they're going over by the restaurant.
Maybe they're
I wonder
hungry.
if that's just to get them out of the way. What's that? Maybe they're hungry.
Yes. I mean,
They're gonna have a snack and watch the test.
I like it. Goodness. All right. Well, I like this question here coming in from Devaldad. Why are you guys called NASA Spaceflight when you cover just so much more than just NASA? I mean, the real answer is when NASA Spaceflight was formed, now, I don't even know how many years ago, maybe you know, Jack.
16, something like that.
Something like that, approaching 20, but not quite there yet. NASA was the only thing doing anything, and that was what our managing editor, Chris Bergen, had called it, because it was NASA Spaceflight, because they were the ones doing the spaceflight.
Yeah, I mean, it started out as a shuttle site, and it was strictly dedicated to the space shuttle and NASA. So, but now there's so much more, and so
it's since it evolved into much, much more. Yeah.
exclamation mark shuttle.
shuttle's better than beer and don't at me.
That's the.
All right, sorry, moving on.
Oh, goodness. Some more super chats rolling in. Justin Wayne with $5 super chat. Thank you very much, Justin. David Swenson with a $25 super chat. David, thank you very much for the extra support. Appreciate you a ton. Insane Cable Guy with $5 Canadian for coffee. Cheers and thanks for the awesome coverage. You know what? I might just have to get a coffee.
Insane Cable Guy, what a name.
Right? And then Dean Harbold with a $5 super chat as well. This is great. Now we just need to get the FAA red tape to go away. Well, I mean, the FAA does serve its purpose, but it is certainly delaying things more than we would care for them to be delayed. All right, flipping through some of the questions, and make sure that you do at NASA Spaceflight for all of our questions. And then it will pop up over on my side. I'm not going to be able to see it unless it says at NASA Spaceflight, unless I happen to look at the chat as it's rolling by because the chat goes pretty quick.
Nathan says, "Why did the test tank cross the road to grab some food?
Obviously.
To pop to the other side? I don't know. There's got to be a better punchline there."
Justin Wayne with a $5 super chat. Past daily videos have shown plumbing for going from GSC4 going to the stand B2.1 is on. Seems to be part of a test system.
Oh, maybe they'll be maybe they'd be tested together. That's interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
The question is, if they're going for food, will they pay for it or will they steal it?
And if
Look, just a quick dine and dash.
we'll
Sorry.
Gosh. I forgot what I was going to say now.
It's just they're just peeling out of the parking lot, just like go 2 miles an hour, floor the transporter.
Yeah, just go. I was going to say, so I wonder because if these are rolling out and it is for some sort of testing, our test window is, what do they have until today?
Until noon, 2 p.m. local?
It's 2 p.m.?
Yep.
I know it's 2 p.m. For a closure earlier this week, and I didn't want to be wrong. So that, I mean, that makes me ponder.
Yeah, interesting. We'll have to see what they do. We just switched away from it real quick, but the valves that we normally see attached to the tanks that they're testing, it's like a set of 2 valves.
Mm-hmm.
Those were attached to B2.1. I did not see any kind of valves like that attached to GSE4. That doesn't really mean much, if anything, but just an observation of what, Yeah, those guys, exactly. The little blue thing and the red thing up top. Those are standard, some sort of valve that we've seen on all of these test tanks. Whereas let's look at GSE4 real quick. It has some sort of valve assembly up top, but not that sort of dual stick that we always see on the test tanks. So still has a valve, looks like, but different configuration for whatever reason. Just thought that was interesting because that dual valve was on GSE4 when they tested it. So it's interesting that they have a new valve on this one.
By the way, thanks for both test tanks to fill the countdown here with more action.
Yeah, right?
All right. From Cohen V, a €4.99 super chat. There's a skyscraper across the street from me that's exactly as tall as Starship plus Super Heavy. I like using it as a reference for scale. So massive. That's awesome.
That's cool that you can do that.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to wrap your head around, the scale of this stuff.
Yeah, and then when you're seeing the coverage like this, it can be very easy to lose a sense of scale, but it really is very, very large. All right, from Vishnu Dev Bardwaj. Looking forward to your stream all day. Keep it up with $2.79 Canadian. Vishnu, thank you very much for the super chat. Martin Schindler. Tanks moving towards the restaurant can only mean one thing: beer delivery.
There's just massive kegs.
Yeah. Blazemonger. A rocket being fueled and a relatively small distance away, just rolling out some test equipment is so SpaceX. With a €5 super chat. Yeah.
Not only SpaceX, but so Starbase. It's just classic. Just feels like a series of gears all moving in concert.
Yeah, right.
Not seeing any frost or anything yet on the vehicle itself. Could also just be that it's hot enough on the outside that it's just not forming with the amount of propellant they're putting in, or it's also incredibly turbulent out there right now. So
yeah. All right, from Kaz Irving, do you think SpaceX will send anything to Mars in the 2022 window?
I would say no.
Yeah,
But
I think absolutely not.
I would wager no. If I was going to bet like $100 with somebody, I would say no. but
I want that to
the
be cool.
yeah, the optimist that just ignores reality in me just wants to say yes. Like I sure hope they would. If they in any way could, how awesome would that be? Like I know they want to test re-entry, but what if for the first orbital launch or the second orbital launch they just threw a something at at Mars, even if it doesn't actually hit Mars, even if it's just like heading out to Mars orbit the same way that the Tesla with Starman on the first Falcon Heavy launch did.
Sure.
I feel like that would be just so cool because it says like, you know, hey, we're close, we're getting really close, but yeah, I would wager against it, like I said, but gosh, that would be cool if they did.
Absolutely. We've got someone in chat just said throw a Hail Mary, and that just reminded me of Project Hail Mary, which is an excellent book if you haven't read it.
Googling, thank you.
Yeah, Andy Weir, the same man that did The Martian. I just recently read it. Very, very good.
Oh.
It is relevant to your interests, put it that way.
Yeah, why thank you.
You're welcome. Daniel
I really
McKenzie.
going to the restaurant.
That's that. Daniel McKenzie with a $20 super chat. Thank you very, very much, Daniel. We've got another $20 super chat from Ray Linder. I believe the reason for the transport now is SpaceX has limited time to close the road, so doing it during the test. Yeah, I mean, so long as the road's closed, I guess they can move it. My concern is just them getting close to the actual vehicle during the testing, and how close they'll actually get and whatnot. So I guess after that testing is done, we could see them then finish rolling these out over to the launch site.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all people talking about Project Hail Mary now in the chat. It was so good, and it's been very, very long time since I haven't been able to put a book down like that. From George Sondergaard. Hi from Denmark. Love your channel, Natalie and George. Thank you guys very much for the super chat, for that extra support. Appreciate you a ton. That's great. Thank you. I just saw this one come in. $4.99 from PDX Mark 77. Love your coverage, even though I should be sleeping right now. I don't know where you're at that you should be sleeping right now, but thank you very, very much for the
Australia?
support. I guess, yeah.
Australia, New Zealand, I guess.
From NH, a $5 super chat. Will Ship 20 and Booster 4 fly in the first quarter of 2022?
Oh yeah, that's a fun question. I don't see.
Just,
Yeah.
that would be the earliest window.
Yeah. Basically, that's the best way to say it, I think, is that would be the earliest logical time if everything goes right.
Absolutely. And we're still seeing that recondenser activity over on the tank farm on that left side.
Mm-hmm. And a whole bunch of vapor coming from the skirt.
Yeah.
Adrian, you said 1045 to 1050. Was that your estimate?
Yeah, but scrap the 45 because we still have no. At least I have not seen engine chill in some way. But let's say Trivent was a bit disappointing with the last test. Thanks for that, Trivent. So my feeling would say not 45, but
okay.
As I said again, the more engines involved, the longer the test tends to get. To underline that with some data, click. The usual that the SN5, SN6 kind of tests where only one engine was involved tend to be on average about 4 to 5 minutes shorter than the tests of SN8 and SN9. So, yeah.
Makes sense. I wonder how long it takes to chill down an individual Raptor.
I don't know.
I mean, previously it was 12 minutes, but we don't know yet.
All right, from Nick Salve, a $5 super chat. What are the chances they installed Tesla FSD on the SPMTs and there's actually no person driving it and therefore no risk to entering the launch site?
0, but that would be cool.
Full self-driving. Yeah, no, that's not a thing for the SPMTs, unfortunately. That would be cool, though. You're right.
So I can't imagine the sort of computer nonsense that you would, or, like algorithms that you would have to write for that, because that job is an extremely skilled job that requires a human operator that knows. Oh man, I would love to talk to one of those transporter drivers just to be like,
absolutely.
how do you level it? What's the level look like? Like, do you have some sort of indicator on the little box you can't? Like, just tell me all the things I'm dying to know. Somebody should do a video on them.
Ooh. From Jeff Shang, just saw this one. As a blind person who listens to NSF Live regularly, it would work just fine as a podcast, and I told Chris B that I thought so. Interesting. We might have to look into that.
Yeah, to be honest, we've been talking about a podcast version of that or something for like a year now. I remember talking about that stuff on the SN8 streams, and I definitely want to make it happen. It's just a matter of having time and bandwidth to make it happen. But I know exactly what I would want it to be like, and I think it would be a really good thing. Totally agree.
Spruce Sculptures in the chat asking, why full load of fuel if only a test?
Oh, it's not going to have a full load of fuel.
Mm-hmm.
They're just going to fuel it up only as much as necessary. I think the only time they really fill it up full is for flight, and even then, I think we just saw the drone landing.
Yeah, it's so
that was cool.
Certainly descending.
At this point, this countdown is quite interesting.
Go on.
Because this is quite a long time between condenser and non-signs of engine chill. The max amount of time I have so far between condenser and some sort of engine chill is 45 minutes. We are approaching that. We are already at about 40.
Got it.
So 5 more minutes, and we are looking at something interesting here.
And we got 16,000 people watching us here to check it out. Let's actually go around the horn right quick so that people know who they're even listening to.
Oh, good
first
idea.
off, we just heard Mr. Adrian Beal. Am I saying your name right? Beal, right?
No, actually, it's Bile.
Dang it! I should have asked off stream. Sorry,
Okay.
Adrian. Adrian Bile, a writer over here at NASA Spaceflight. Oh, embarrassing.
Your title should really say writer/spreadsheet wizard.
Yeah. Right.
I feel like that would devalue all the other amazing people who can do magic stuff with spreadsheets. I can't.
And
I
make sure
just
you-
love numbers.
Make sure you follow Adrian on Twitter there at BC Car Counters as well.
And me.
And then Jack Beyer, Mr. Video editor, photographer extraordinaire. Jack. Hi, Jack. How are you?
I'm awake. I'm alive.
You're awake. This is your second
Alive,
stream
I'm
of the
awake.
day. It's 10. It is 8:44 your time, I think.
Yep.
And this is your second stream. Goodness.
Yeah, no, I'm doing good. Played a little bit of Kerbal for the first time in forever while
there
I
you
was
go.
waiting for Starship to do something. Made some chocolate chip pancakes. Good stuff. No worries.
You can also hear Jack in our latest narrated video that we published earlier this week, talking about Starhopper. No, there's my information, and that's me, DK or Derek, whichever you want to say. Content manager here at NASA Spaceflight, at Declarations on Twitter, and also Declarations.tv will take you to my Twitch channel. And then we also have Mr. Michael Baylor pulling all these switches, getting everything to show up on screen. And I definitely don't want to forget about Michael. There he is. At next Spaceflight over there on Twitter. Michael, thank you very much for pulling all the switches for us. And then also we have Mary in the field. There you go, Mary, our Starbase photographer. If you have been on the channel at all, I imagine you know who Mary is. But if you do not, follow her on Twitter over at Boca Chica Gal. You'll get all sorts of early access stuff and information as she posts them, and interesting things that you'll see and post about it. Really,
She
it's a
lives
good follow.
there. She's out there every single day, documenting this history. So
Every dang day. Is Nick also on the field right now as well?
I believe Nick is in Brownsville. I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay, because they can only be a resident, right?
Yep.
They close it off for all non-residents. Mary is a resident, so she's able to get us some of these cooler views. Looks like those tanks have stopped at the restaurant. They are.
Do we have a frost ring?
Waiting for their order?
They're not
Oh,
even
do
at the. They're not even at the restaurant. They're like over by the shed. They're like the crane shed.
Oh, is that? I thought that was the restaurant.
Is that a frost ring right below?
Yep, looks like it.
Yeah, they're right below the hatch. You can see a ring of frost, which basically means that the liquids in it filled the bulk, the thrust section, and now are directly in contact with the steel wall, which is the tank wall. So there's not a tank in it. The wall is the tank.
Yep. Yeah. If you think about inside this cylinder, there is a bowl, and that bowl is full of liquid oxygen, because that's the liquid oxygen tank, and the bowl is full, and it is starting to climb up the sides of the cylinder itself. That's what that would be indicative of.
Yeah. Moving right along.
And the hatch is not open. The hatch just has a different look now. It just has that black.
Yeah, it just looks black.
Yeah.
It looks like it's open.
Yeah, we get that a lot.
It looks like there's just a hole. Matt Kaiser asking, okay, but how do we say DK's last name? Adrian, can I have you pronounce my last name? Do you know what it is? That's a no. That's
yeah.
okay.
I always know. The thing is, I always know you as DK.
Yeah, fair, right?
But I think. Wait. Is it Knabenbauer?
Yeah, it is Knabenbauer, yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to hear it from a German.
Really? I would not have. I was going to say Nabenauer.
Yeah.
No, it's Knabenbauer. It's not a non-silent K.
Nice.
It's a syllabic K, yeah. All right, flipping through everything here. Well, Paul Harvey asking, where's Das? I hope probably maybe even still sleeping. He left Boca Chica yesterday, I think. Is that correct?
I believe so. Yeah, he's getting some well-deserved rest.
I hope so.
He'll be back soon, though.
Atomic in the chat asking, do we know how many engines will fire at once today? We don't even know if the engines are going to fire. We just know that there is going to be engine testing, which could be just preburner testing. It could be preburner and then a static fire test. It could be a static fire test and then another static fire test.
If I may throw in an indicator, as I said, countdowns get longer the more engines are involved, and we are now in a record time between condenser and engine shell. So,
oh, really? Interesting. Okay.
So this might be an indicator that there are more engines than usual involved.
We're seeing some intermittent venting from sort of the middle area of the vehicle up there. I'm not sure. Is that the methane tank vent? Or just in the same area as it?
The methane tank is very interesting because it didn't really happen with.
No, that looks like the LOX tank. It's definitely below the top of the raceway. Well,
SpaceX always changing the countdown.
Take that, your data.
All right, from Nia, what are your plans on covering the first orbital flight? Yes.
That's it.
That our plan is to cover it. Absolutely.
Yeah, certainly we'll pull out all the stops for that one, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see exactly what we do.
We'll be fighting each other back and in the background, trying to see who gets to be on coverage. All right, the Maslava coming in with $5 Canadian. Thank you for the coverage. Cheers from Canada. Have a coffee. Off to work now. Hey, thank you very much, Slava. Bill T. Cat, if LOX and methane are used to fuel the rocket, what is the hydrogen used for?
Hydrogen?
I don't know what the hydrogen... You mean nitrogen?
No hydrogen here.
Yep. No.
Nitrogen is there.
Yes.
So we have nitrogen used, for cryotest. I think it is also used for purging the tanks in preparation for fueling them, because you can use nitrogen, just basically purge the lines, purge the tanks, and make sure they are empty and ready.
Yep, and they also use it for propellant conditioning. It's part of the whole methane recondenser system, uses liquid nitrogen.
This is, by the way, a quite significant frost ring for static fire. That's not all the time that we see that during these static, well, not static fire, but engine testing. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that there's 6 engines installed. Probably the most amount of propellant that they would have used for a test such as this. I'm just... Every now and then I glance over at Starbase Live as well, and I just see the 2 test tanks sitting there like they're an audience watching.
Right.
I love it.
Do you mean Starbase Live, our 24/7 stream that you can always use to watch Starbase action?
Why, yes, I do mean Starbase Live, our 24/7 stream, which you can always use to watch Starbase action, even when we're not live and commentating on a stream such as this.
Our Starbase live stream 24/7? My goodness. Tell me more. All right. We have some more super chats rolling, and I just want to make sure that we get to them. Alan Foreman with 4.99 euros. Just been diagnosed by my wife with man flu. Hope I live long enough to see the test.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Makita with 4.99 euro. Who do you think really works at SpaceX there? So, for example, the SPMT drivers or wide bay builder, or maybe they're foreign workers is the question there. Well, they don't have to be from the U.S., I think, right? Just from like a regulatory standpoint.
For contractors, I'm not sure. I think SpaceX only hires U.S. people, but for contractors, I'm not, or like employees of a contractor, I'm not quite sure how that works there.
Kenneth Carson saying, I wish you guys had a 24/7 channel that I could watch. A 24/7 channel that could be live all the time so you could check out what's happening over at Boca Chica? If only. We actually have the link to our 24/7 live stream pinned in the chat right now if you want to take a look at that, bookmark it. It has been live for, goodness, since like July consistently. I don't think it's gone down at all once.
Yeah, and that is a testament to the extra hard work from everybody. Doss, Mary, Nick, everyone getting it up and running and keeping it running, and
during the day we're able to get a little closer views, and it's been really, really fun to watch it all be ramped up. Jerwa JWCC saying, you guys should start a 24/7 stream and call it Starbase Live.
We're just beating this dead horse now. Oh God, I said that. Yeah, I'm gonna get fired now by Crispy.
Oh boy.
I've impugned horses.
All right, so NH. Let's see, is there a concern when they finally light Ship 20 that the force and vibration will cause a lot of tile loss? Yep, that's a concern.
Yeah. It's a valid one at that, but no big deal. Even worst case scenario, if 20 RUDs right now on the pad, they have 21 in work.
Yeah, absolutely. Edward Walsh, a new Red Team member. Thank you very much for that membership. We'll see you in the Discord.
This is already a 50-minute countdown.
Goodness, okay.
That's records. We're approaching records here.
Red Team members do not get Discord access, just really quick.
Oh, no. Sorry. We want to. Thank you for the support, though.
You do get chat emoji, which we have Mars as one of the chat emoji now, which I think is quite appropriate. Just throw a triple Mars there in chat. So Adrian, it's going to be a record number of engines installed on the vehicle for a test like this. It makes sense that sort of a little bit of a longer count. I wonder if they chill down the Raptors sort of individually, and more engines means more time to chill.
So
yeah, the longest countdown we ever had involving every test was the SN9 hop test, which had a 1 hour and 9 minutes countdown, which probably included some holes.
That makes sense.
So real quick to correct myself earlier, for the Red Team, you get some members-only videos and photos that you'll be able to see there, and then also Capcom is where the Discord server comes in. My apologies for the misspeak there.
No worries.
Thank you for
Look at
correcting me.
that. Look at that frost ring. That's
know.
really significant.
Yeah, no kidding.
John Michael A with a $5 super chat. Thank you very much, John. And then John Keys. No question, just keep being awesome. $10 super chat. Thank you very much to you as well, John.
Thanks, John.
Perpetual Punster with a Red Team membership. Thank you very much. Oh, goodness, this name. Asgear. I'll go with that. Why is there gas flowing all over the place? Adrian?
I mean, it's not gas, it's vapor, right?
Yeah.
A
If it
lot
was
of it is
gas, that would be
also
bad.
a lot of it's also condensation on the cold surfaces because
Yeah,
there's
well-
a lot of cold surfaces all over involved, so you have condensation there.
Yeah, cryo temperatures that you get condensation really, really easy. For cryogenic temperatures are below -150 degrees Celsius to absolute zero. It's
Yeah,
very,
Scott.
very, very, very cold.
Scott Menley mentioning in the chat, it's condensation. There's a gas everywhere called air.
Yeah, there you go. I like it. Also, Scott, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Jack Eppington, $5 for the Hawaii Boat Rental Fund. Oh, boy. And then John Michael A with a $5 super chat as well. What is happening right now is history in the making. Can't wait to tell my grandkids that I watched it live. Thank you for the coverage. Excellent job. Thank you for the support, John.
Sure enough, little piece of history
Yeah.
happening right before our eyes today.
And real quick, I'd like to say hi to the now 19,000 people that we have watching as we're approaching our engine test. So I actually have a question for you, Adrian. Are we
Hello.
seeing the same thing for preburner test that we would for engine testing? Or is
Yes.
there maybe some indicator one way or the other? So it could be just preburner for now?
So even the deluge system was active for the last preburner test, if I recall correctly. At least we saw something splashing up there. So there's no real good indicator to separate them both until the final ignition and if we see thrust generated or not. So no, there's no way to separate them both. Usually it's even the same sequence they use for both because I guess they kind of use it as a wet dress rehearsal for the countdown as well.
Oh, I like this one from Sahas. If only people knew there was a like button, which would really help you guys. If only they knew. Oh, be sure to hit that like button if you can, guys. It does help us out. Thank you very much. I love it when people when Scott shows up in chat and then a million people are like, "Hello."
That's
Yes,
perfect.
it's amazing.
I always have to resist saying hello because it's
Hello,
just,
Scott Manley.
it's just so
I like
good.
it.
It's satisfying to do. Good branding.
It really is.
Lower access hatches, by the way, almost covered now in
Yeah,
frost.
so you can see that ring. It's subtle. You might have to like really sort of get close to your monitor, but you can see the sort of. There you go. That's a good. There we are. You can see that discoloration that's happening, and as it's going over that hatch, it's an indicator of where we're at in terms of propellant loading. Oh, I said it now. Everyone's saying hello. Oh, jeez.
56 minutes countdown.
Wow, we're really getting up there in the length of this count.
Yeah, also no real indication of like a hold or like an abort. It looks pretty standard and normal besides the fact that it's really long. That's the most interesting for me right now. Like that it doesn't look like there's a. Usually we see a hold between the start of the condenser and the start of propellant loading. That's usually the time where we see a lot of holds, and they progress just fine. I mean, they're fueling. We know they are not in a hold right now because the frost ring is rising.
Yeah.
So they're still fueling. It's just that they're fueling more than probably ever before for a static fire or a preburner or whatever test.
Interesting. Is that maybe an indication of what we could expect, or like So are they gonna? I mean, okay.
I
Would they
would
be refueling it in between a preburner and then a static fire?
Oh,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah. That's that's also a good point. Maybe they are gearing up for like we had that with the latest evening in Starship testing where they basically did a static fire, and then there was a long hold without any new countdown, and then we had another static fire. So maybe there's some sort of double. Who knows? Like it's an interesting territory in which we are right now.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got some super chats rolling in. So long as we are still loading propellant, I'm going to try to get to them as quickly as I can here. From Hockey Dave with $7 Canadian. NASA was worried about having 2 landers on the moon, but they only have SLS/Orion to get there. So where's the redundancy to get there? And oh, hey, all right.
Sorry,
No, you're good.
That's the Trivant.
One further step in.
That looks like the normal Trivant, right, Jack? Like that's what we saw in previous vehicles.
Sort of a bivent now that they can't have a vent on the heat shield side, right?
Yeah.
That would put us if they still go with the same procedure, we are looking at 1114.
All right. So cryogenic liquid is flowing through the piping on the engines, getting them conditioned so they don't get cryo-shocked once propellant actually starts flowing in earnest. This is good. Just what we wanted to see.
Absolutely. Rolling in. I'm going to try to get through some of these super chats just as quickly as we can while we have just a few minutes. Thomas Conroy, I think some people forget that RUD wouldn't be a big deal. RUD meaning rapid unplanned disassembly. Although ship looks finished, it's very much a prototype vehicle still. It absolutely is. And even if it does fail in any kind of way, that's still information that they get to then bring back to the design table. John Petty with a 99-cent super chat. Thank you very much, John. Jeff Fillmore with a $20 super chat. More funds for the Hawaii boat rental. Thank you very much, Jeff. Second King with a $5 Australian super chat. Urban Spaceman X. Hi, Al. Do you think that this will be a 2-part test with the sea level Raptors being tested separately from the vacuum Raptors? The truth of the matter is that we don't actually know.
It's possible, for sure. That seems
Yeah.
like a plausible way to incrementally expand their envelope here. But again, like you said, we just don't know exactly what they're going to do till they do it.
From JC Wild's Army said, when are you guys going up? Love watching your streams. When are we going up, like to space? What's the question? When are you going to space, Jack?
As soon as I can. You want to send me to space? I'll go. I'm dead serious.
Oh, I'm with
I
you
would
there,
go.
buddy.
I would absolutely go on the first ship to Mars. 100%.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Thomas H with a $5 super chat. Couldn't they send a refueler/tanker to orbit Mars prior to sending an astronaut? I mean, plausibly. I don't know much about that sort of mission profile with how they would be planning everything. I don't even know if they know yet.
That's a tricky one. Because sending a tanker, I mean, it's going to have to expend some of its fuel to get there. I think the tankers are in Earth orbit, really. You could certainly send a Starship to land and set up a rudimentary propellant plant kind of thing, and then maybe get that up and running so you have a fueled ship, or you have fuel to put in your ship once you land. I'm sure there's ways you could pre-stage things, potentially, stuff like that. I don't know. It's an interesting question. I wonder how much fuel they could get to Mars and end up with, because also part of how this whole system works is using Mars's own atmosphere to brake the ship, to slow down. So I don't think you necessarily do that to get into Martian orbit, but I don't know. It's a good question.
From Michael Sully with a $5 super chat, will the next Starship have the entire ship covered in heat shields, or the belly, or just the belly like SN20? It would almost assuredly be just the belly in the same way, and then because there's actually, you don't have to have it all around the ship. It's only going to come down in one orientation, just like a shuttle.
Did somebody say shuttle?
And, I mean, and I don't think I heard a cough. Citizen Blue with a $5 super chat. Instead of a podcast, how about a webinar?
No.
Okay.
No webinars ever, unless it's an oven baking webinar.
That's an oven bake. What?
Don't worry about it.
Okay. All right. Test now eminent on our little tracker there.
Is that the the pulse vent? That looks weird.
Say again?
The tri-vent looks like it's pulsing that.
Yeah, we saw that. We saw
Okay.
that on the previous test, right? It kind of pulsed the entire time, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
tri-vent really changed, but we should be just be ready that it could fire any second.
Noted.
And you can look at that ring now. It is now enveloped in well above that
the
little
hatch.
black dot, the hatch. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting that there's not a lot of frost or any frost that's super visible on the methane tank side.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So just because sometimes it's fun to put that time out, and most of the time it's very wrong, but the time the spreadsheet puts out is 11:14:20. But that might be very off.
Right. No, I'm just. I don't want to say anything because I don't know if it's gonna start going for me. All right. All kinds of super chats coming in. We'll get to those later, guys.
Just waiting for some engine testing.
Mm-hmm.
Siren.
It was very hard to hear, but we could hear a siren right now. So a siren has happened, which means the residents and everyone close were warned that there might be a test imminent, which is a great sign.
Yeah, is it 10 minutes? Is that the
Ish.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a heavy emphasis on the ish, but yeah, 10 minutes give or take. Could be less, could be more. That's a good sign, though. We're very close.
Absolutely. So at this time, we're going to just focus on the actual event happening here. We'll get to some of these super chats and get to thanking these people for their added support in just a minute.
Yeah,
Goodness,
you won't
look at
be
that.
able to see the deluge most likely because of all the clouds.
So we don't yet know if it's going to be preburner testing, which it'll just be kind of a little foop, or if it'll be engine testing, which will be a much bigger plume.
A deeper, more violent foop.
I just threw a little hashtag little swoop into chat just because it does nothing, it means nothing, but hey, I liked it.
A little foop. I mean, that's what it is, really. But
I'm
again,
just-
even if we see a preburner, it doesn't mean that we might not also see more testing action yet today.
Yeah, and then we would get a big foop.
Big poop.
4 minutes to my prediction, we will see.
There you go. Just watching it come alive there. It's got the venting pulsing, the tri-vent, now bi-vent, I guess.
I think at this point we just call it the engine chill vent, but yeah. Chat has latched on to the foop.
The foop, I like it. Foop.mp4. Oh my gosh. You say one thing one time.
Foop.exe.
Hashtag win foop.
So good.
I like that one.
So yeah, moments away from potentially the first ever test of all 6 engines on a Starship. Notice I don't say static fire, I say test, because we're not sure quite what they're going to do. Maybe they'll do 3. Maybe they'll actually fire 3. Maybe it'll be some sort of, like we've been talking about, maybe a preburner test.
Yeah, they don't tell us.
Of a subset of them, maybe a preburner test of all of them. But yeah, like you said, they don't tell us what they're doing. So we're really just going on experience and intuition here, and logic. So we'll just have to wait and see what exactly they do.
24,000 people watching, waiting for the poop.
When poop?
When poop? Is it going to be a little poop or a big poop?
There is poop involved.
Oh boy.
There'll be a non-zero amount of poop.
The
We got 24,000 people watching. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Yeah,
really
absolutely. Cool. My goodness. The anticipation of just waiting for this to do it kills me every time.
Right.
2
Engine
minutes
testing.
to my prediction.
All right. I kind of want your prediction to be exact.
My record is 2 seconds.
No kidding.
My worst is 8 minutes. So you know what.
All right. So
what
plus or minus.
Even 8 minutes is remarkably good, if you ask
Yeah.
me. But maybe let's shut our gab holes for a little bit and listen in and see if we can hear a little bit of what's going on. And certainly, once we see it fire or do something, we won't be talking over it. But let's try as hard as we can refrain from talking for a moment.
I agree. And that was what looked to be a preburner test, right?
That's a little foop.
For a little swoop, though, that was quite big. That was,
right?
I think, the largest ball of fire we've seen emanate from under one of these vehicles. That was quite something. Very cool. So, yeah, that would have been a preburner test. Definitely not full ignition.
And
just to be sure,
ignition...
that might not be it. Just to be sure here. We don't know if they might follow with a static fire. Just to be totally sure here.
Yep, it's entirely possible that there's more testing, there's more time in the window, and we have not seen any depressing vent yet, so vehicle is still fueled.
Might indicate that we are approaching potentially a full static fire. Or maybe another preburner test if they did, the 3 vacuum Raptors and then the 3 sea level Raptors. That could also be possible for 2 preburner vents.
Man, that was awesome.
That was a long chill.
It was a pretty good little foop.
Yeah, that was. I'm
gonna roll with
it. Super good. It looked great. So much fire! Wow.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it looked awesome. And it's still standing.
It's still there. I'll call that from what we can see, a successful preburner test.
Good foop.
Good. Hashtag good foop.
Oh goodness.
I'm looking at I'm watching the replay over. Like I just rewound on Starbase Live, and I'm looking at the replay here, and oh man, I definitely see multiple engines spooling up before the fire starts. That was definitely multiple engines. I'm not quite sure how many, but that looked like a very good test.
I'm just watching it in replay now. Goodness, very exciting. So looking like we have let's see.
We have another tri-vent.
Yeah, another tri-vent. That does make me feel like we're gonna have another test here because we haven't seen like a full vent from everything quite yet.
Correct. Yeah, we could see another test here shortly.
And how soon after that one do you think that it's plausible that we could see something else? Do we have time to roll through some super chats? We had a bunch come in while we were waiting for that static fire, or not static fire, excuse me, the preburner test. Right on. So I'm going to try to roll through these. We have quite a few now. From Diorot Fane, hard to say. $5 euros on a regular super heavy flight. Will Starship use its sea level Raptors for landing only?
No, it'll use all 6 engines immediately after SEP to minimize gravity losses.
Yeah. From Fry Jemmy, with the first orbital launch scheduled in July, now expected to be 2022, how much of a delay is from regulations and how much is just SpaceX?
Well, to be fair, right now SpaceX wouldn't be able to support an orbital launch. Like at this moment, even if the FAA said, okay, you can do it today, SpaceX wouldn't be able to do it today because ship is not done testing, booster is not tested at all, orbital launch pad is not finished. So it's not like they're currently in a situation where they just wait on regulations. So I would say so far the regulation delay is not there.
Mark S in chat saying "Foopy McFoop face." Oh no.
I laughed, but I was muted. But I did laugh.
Hashtag Foop Fan Club, $5 super chat from Moley Space Industries. I like it. From 6969 Barbosa, a €4.99 super chat. And hello from Portugal. Is there any equipment to synchronize the propulsion force of the engines? I don't know if I fully grasped the question.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what they're asking there. No, looks like we might have lost Adrian for a second there, and he's back.
That was my Discord deciding now is the time for a restart.
There was another siren just now. Mary is reporting from in the field.
Another very short siren. Okay.
Interesting. So it could be another test here
Yeah.
momentarily.
I'm going to hesitate to go through any more of these super chats, but I'm going to try to thank everybody when we can.
Yeah, just to point out, it was a short siren, but
So what does a short siren mean for us?
that the sheriff decided to confuse us even more.
Oh, okay, great. Checks out.
I guess maybe I'm seeing an old message. I might have gotten that wrong.
Discord doing Discord things.
Yeah, right. Still though, despite that, having been a second short siren, the vehicle has not done any kind of depress vent, so we are still in a testing posture.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I looked at a lot of boards in the past few tests, and one of the best indicators to see that they are actually depressurizing or like saving the vehicle was always the old methane flare, which
vent?
became active as a vent.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
As long as that is not active, I wouldn't be unexcited.
Yeah. So I remain excited. Thank you for that.
Yeah, please remain excited. That's the thing to do here.
If we were, like on an airliner, they have like the "Please buckle your seatbelt" sign. If we were, if we had a sign that we were going to install in everybody's houses, it would say, "Please remain excited."
Yes, definitely. Foop
Parker
2
Emery.
coming soon.
Yeah. Maybe
Foop 2,
Foop.
the beginning. Yeah.
Parker Emery with a $50 super chat. First off, thank you very much for that support. Saying, Foop for the win. Keep up the awesome work. Have we seen any indications of HLS work resuming?
I guess not really. Nothing that we've seen necessarily, but that doesn't mean it hasn't. Just not what we can see and what's going on in the entirety of SpaceX is two very different things. We can only see it's like looking through a straw, and there's much more that going on that we don't see. So.
What is good this time is because we have a frost ring, we will be very able to see if they detank because that frost ring would go. So, that
Real
helps.
quick, I see a bunch of people in chat asking about the replay. We're not showing the replay yet because there could be another one happening in just a moment here. And we don't know exactly when, so we don't want to miss the new one for the sake of the replay.
Yeah, so stay tuned for replays later.
The more I watch, again, I have a second screen here, and I'm going back and looking at it over and over again on Starbase Live, and that looks like all the engines. I think maybe
it could be it really was a pretty. I wouldn't even call it a little Foop. Maybe medium. I don't know.
Yeah, so that was quite a test.
Yeah, for a preburner, that looked like a lot of fire, a lot of action and violence. So. Yeah, this might be another indicator that it was more than free.
Very cool. Always fun to see the envelope expanded and more milestones reached in Boca Chica. It's what we want to see. We want to see progress.
We got people asking about Foop shirts.
Yeah, people really latched on to the Foop thing.
I like the Foop, all right.
I also saw a suggestion to do a "Please Remain Excited" shirt.
Yeah, I saw that one too. I like that one.
I like that a lot. Yeah, that's actually really good. Type that into the store chat.
So if you're just joining us, we have had one preburner test happen now, and we are waiting. It's looking like there's probably going to be some more testing. They haven't done a full vent yet. Let's see, Jack, how did you word it before? Where they still have a testing posture, which is an excellent way to put it.
Yeah, sure enough.
So we're just kind of holding a little bit, seeing what we can see.
So they are entering the pulsing pattern of the I guess bivent, again, which we saw in the whole sequence before the preburner test. So that is at least interesting, as this is not like it doesn't look like some sort of spooling down. It's more like going into the same pattern again.
Real quick, Adrian, is that frost ring up higher than it was previously?
And let me do the quick A/B.
Please.
It kind of looks it, and the recondenser was active a little while ago.
So in the last 10 minutes, no, it was consistent in the last 10 minutes.
Okay.
But yeah, this is LA. I love that it's still going, and there's not spooling down, ongoing.
Yeah. So we could see another preburner test potentially. We could also be seeing a full static fire as we move on here.
What we cannot see is a hop.
Yeah, we will not see it move. It will, however, have a whoop.
I mean, we hope it doesn't move. Hop today bad.
Yeah, definitely.
No.
Not desired.
Yeah.
To provide some info from the last test, we had about 1 hour between the two statics, but there was some sort of a board between that, so they could do it faster.
Yeah, because they actually vented previously, right? So.
No, the last time they hold it as well. This is more close to the static fire with first 1 than 2, like for what they did there, in terms of how it behaves right now. At least the frost ring seems pretty consistent. It's not going down at all.
All right, well, I'm going to try to sneak in some super chats, maybe just a little bit. Miguel Perez coming in with a $5 super chat. I said, "Are excited? Will it? Excited to see the thing fly," I think is what the message is meant to say. Acid.com. Chill, foop, and room. Perpetual Punster, finally, first fiery foop for Friday. Thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Boy, I'm just hesitating because now it's. I just don't want to be talking over it.
As soon as you see fire,
Exactly.
stop talking,
Yeah.
and you should be fine.
Andrew Schneider with a $2 super chat saying, "When whoop." Michael Swenson with a $15 super chat, merch idea, whoopee cushions. My goodness. David Spector with a $5 super chat as well, saying, "Whoop, there it is." People have latched onto the whoop, Jack.
Yeah, it's sticking.
I'm already sick of it.
I like this one from Aravale, from 530, $5.30. I mean, Starship doing its best impression of a Delta IV Heavy.
Yes, that is hilarious. Notoriously, the Delta IV Heavy sets itself on fire before launching.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I want more of it.
Yes, it's one of all the amazing things about the Delta IV Heavy.
All right, I'm just trying to be careful here as we are launching for potentially another test.
Ready to shut up at any moment.
Mm-hmm.
So just to add here, what they could do, just in theory, for example, is look at the data, look if everything is good, and then decide to go on with a second test.
Mm-hmm.
But that is, but since we see no indication of detanking, that could be a possibility here.
And again, we don't know what the next test would be necessarily. It could be another preburner test, or it could be a full static fire.
Yeah, that I think that preburner test was all 6 engines, and so it would make sense that this next test would be a full static fire. If that's what we could be in store for, that would be a historic test. A big deal.
A lot of timeline left.
I was going to say,
minute.
Michael doing some quick adjustments to our timeline.
And some people ask in the chat, I have no idea about timings at this point.
Yeah, we're kind of in uncharted territory now.
Yeah, you're still keeping track of data, but all trends and guesstimates based on experience are out the window because this is weird and unique, right?
Yes. Like, at this point, any time I would give is just guessing. And I don't really like if I guess on the blind. So I don't do it.
And that's why we, can feel comfortable in putting a little bit of weight into your estimates, because we know you're not just going to make up a number for the sake of saying a number.
And again, I want to thank the now 26,000 people that you have watching. We have had a pre-burner test already, and it's looking like we might be having another test. We don't know yet if that's going to be another pre-burner test or if it's going to be a full static fire. But thank you guys very much for watching. Appreciate you a ton.
Yeah, I love that everybody is so excited about this stuff that
there's
26,000 people watching in the middle of the day on Friday.
Yeah, right? This one's super exciting. Makes me excited to see eventual booster tests.
Oh man. That's gonna be awesome. We're all like hesitant to talk because we don't want to.
I'm so hesitant to talk. I'm like looking back at the super chats, looking back at the. What I don't want is to be chatting while it's firing.
Yep.
And I know that you guys definitely don't want that either.
One time I was talking while it exploded. That wasn't so great.
Oh no.
The famous sentence.
Yeah.
If that is methane.
Oh yeah. Just watching those events pulse.
This is always so cool to see.
Honestly, yeah, I just like watching the vent pulse there.
I could watch this for hours. I did watch this for hours.
Speaking of watching it for hours, thanks to everybody who's stuck it out with us here.
Yeah. 26,000 people still hanging out with us. The recondenser going on and off again all the time.
Yeah, on that left side.
Interesting.
What would that tend to indicate? Do we know?
It's not a bad sign. It's not like part of the fuel tank, fuel farm becomes active when it spools down. So that's good. I'm super careful right now.
I know.
Yep.
About 20 minutes now after the food.
So another foop potentially imminent here.
Yeah. We are entering the food window. Okay, we need to stop. So, since I see that on chat, yes, there is a pulse, but it seems they changed the way the engine shell vent behaves. So that pulse is no longer the 30-second indicator. So yeah,
Okay.
sadly not really an indicator for imminent test.
Yeah, watching that used to be such a dead, rock solid way to be like, okay, here we go. It's about to launch or about to fire its engines, and now, we're still dealing with the new behaviors of a fully orbital capable ship, and that is no longer one of the behaviors we are able to watch, unfortunately. They're still, like we were saying a minute ago, I could still sit here and watch them for hours. They're beautiful. Just seeing that liquid oxygen cascade out of the vehicle like that.
Mm-hmm. So I can't get through all of the super chats here, but Chase just had $20 super chat asking why they're performing the test so close to the other rockets, and with the collateral damage risk, it's much less close than it looks at this view. With how far away this camera is, you'll see lots of compression, which will make things look like they're very close together, even though that they aren't. I don't know if we have an idea of exactly how far Ship 20 is away from either the remnants of Booster 3 or even Booster 4. But it is.
It's not super far, but it's far enough.
Yeah.
I mean, they launched SN9 with SN10, sitting right next to it. So, it's not the end of the world. But you're right. You're getting a lot of telephoto lens compression.
Yeah.
It makes it look like Booster 4 is right next to Ship 20, which Booster 4 is over in the landing pad area, but it's not super far, but it's also not like,
This is a big fan
practically touching ship.
Doing a quick AB of the past 10 minutes if the frost ring changed in any way, but it looks like well.
The tank itself is frosty.
Yeah, the tank itself got frosty.
It's
And
not.
I have no idea what that means, by the way. It's just an observation.
It's a significant amount of extra condensation on the side of the tank there. That's a lot. I mean, interesting.
I mean, it could be like the liquid boiling a bit and going up the tank, right?
Yeah, that would make sense.
But
we're 700 likes away from 10,000 likes. If you haven't hit the like button already, I'm going to be that guy and ask you, come on, hit the like button. Get us to 10K.
Thank you.
Thank you for hitting it, everybody that has.
And thanks
Helps
for
out.
watching.
Yeah, and seriously, thank you. It helps out the channel.
And if you're just joining us, we're pretty hesitant to do much talking because we don't want to end up talking over a test as it's imminent. So you'll hear lots of intermittent chat, but not too much.
Wow, okay, so we've gotten up to 12K likes. Thank you, everybody, for smashing that button. 13. Wow. Awesome. It's much appreciated. Like I said, it helps the channel.
And for anybody who's a fan of the Starship, We also have our new Starship plushie now in our merch store.
That is in fact a thing, and it is in limited
It is.
quantities.
And yeah, very limited. But it is delightful. And if you're a fan of Starship, definitely recommend checking it out. I'm trying to pull up the link right quick.
Yeah, mods, if you could throw that in chat if you've got the link to the plushie.
I know from the perspective of being a mod that some mod is right now panicking and searching for the link as fast as they can. Oh, I know another thing that sometimes the mods like. We haven't asked the mod's favorite question so far today.
Oh, where everybody's watching from?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
boy.
really wanted to do that. So, where are you watching from, chat?
Sweden, England, Hungary, Germany,
Meow.
Poland.
Alaska.
Slovakia.
So cool that we get to bring this stuff to people around the world.
Yeah, my goodness.
Also, the link to the plushie is now pinned at the top of the chat, so you can go
Ireland.
there and click it.
India, Tucson, Tampa, Finland, Romania, Poland, Belgium, South Africa.
I saw dirty lead scrolling by.
All right, so we're just in the hold here. CGX with a $5 super chat saying Wisconsin. Hey, I'm from Wisconsin. Sharp Valadez with a $5 super chat saying, just bought a plushie. It's so cute. It really, really is. Thank you
Yeah, I
for
can't wait
picking up
till
that plushie.
I can't wait till mine gets here, and thanks
I
to everyone
know.
for supporting the channel by getting one.
Yeah.
We hope you like them. A lot of work went into getting those sorted out on the part of the store team, and it's a super cool product, and I hope you like it.
Yeah. Randall Smith with a $5 super chat from Seattle. Jean-Michel Dutil from Montreal.
Again, we try to not talk that much right now because there could be another static fire or preburner or whatever imminent. So we try to not talk over it. And that's why we are a bit careful about our commentary right now, so we can stop talking at any second.
That is a crazy amount of frost on the LOX tank right now.
Yeah, we're looking at, so just above that very white ring, we're now seeing it condense much more around the area above it.
Yeah, I think this is some of the fullest or the fullest I think we've seen the LOX tank. It's based on frost.
Yeah.
for a static fire versus flight. Like this is more like it would look pre-flight, although obviously not expecting to see anything like that today.
So, just to update here,
Mm-hmm.
we have some people in our Discord who watch the feed very closely. And if you rewind to our feed to 11:41:15, there was an aborted whatever attempt. So it looks like it was an aborted static fire attempt visible. You can see liquids flowing through
No
the
kidding.
engine.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
You can see it.
You can even see the vents go doing the sploosh. So, so yeah, there was, it seems, an aborted static fire attempt, and since there no detanking, which means, don't turn off yet, this could result in a recycle and another attempt for a static fire.
Wow, yeah, how did we miss that? I can see that plain as day right there.
Yeah, people in our Discord are apparently watching more closely than we are.
I have 3 screens on right now. How did I miss
Yeah.
this? Wow. Okay, so aborted some sort of test, and hopefully another one here that is successful anytime. Again, we haven't seen the vehicle detank. In fact, we've seen that LOX tank frost up, nice and tall. So hopefully we'll get an engine test here of some sort. Come on, 6-engine static fire. How cool
I
would
know,
that
right?
be?
That's what I want to see.
And here.
Well, I'm going to go through some more super chats. We're still super behind on them. We've had a bunch of people rolling on them. Thank you guys very much for the support. John Plyer is laying on a beach in Ziwatanejo is what it is.
That's a
in
Shawshank Redemption reference. You are not on
Oh.
Zihuatanejo.
I'm-
That's where
I didn't
characters
get
go
the
in
reference. You're
in
totally
Shawshank
right.
Redemption.
I got
Yeah.
super excited.
Good one
I
though.
was like,
That's-
oh,
It's a good one.
thank you for catching that. Nick Alderman asking, how is the Starship held to the test stand with a $2 super chat?
A little clampy. It's like I don't really know what to call them really other than clamps.
Yeah,
Clampy
just
type
clamp down
devices. Yeah.
on that test stand. Yeah.
If you're a Futurama fan, clamps.
And someone asking, I haven't tuned in a while. Is this the first ship fitted with 6 Raptors? Also, did they change the naming system? Not SN anymore, but ship.
Correct and correct.
Yep, both of those things are true.
The answer to your question is yes.
Mhm. Mark with €4.20. Foop sploosh burr. With the super chat. Thank you very much for the support. Celadon Hair Extraordinaire, New Zealand here. Woke up too early by 6 a.m. on accident. Turns out Starship was testing and y'all were streaming, so it kind of worked out okay in the end. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much for the support.
Yeah, there's a Starship fuel on the pad, so at least we got that going for us.
Yeah. And that lock tank is getting frostier and frostier.
Sure enough.
Wow, this is new. Like new in a static fire test.
How do you mean?
This much of frost and this constant fly frost.
Sure.
That's not what you see with every static fire test.
No, this is definitely different. I wonder if they just need more locks in the tank for 6 Raptors for whatever reason. Because what we're not seeing is that amount of frost on the methane tank.
Oh yeah.
It's a pretty like sharp line. It kind of just
Yeah.
stops right there where the methane tank starts, which is interesting.
I mean, you kind of want to make sure that your lower tank is stable, right? When you fill things in the upper one, so maybe it's just fueled more, so it's
Yeah, and
stable.
I imagine it takes more locks to chill 6 engines versus 2 or 3. And maybe there's some sort of pressure component as well, where to feed 6 engines at the right pressure, you need more locks. I'm not a rocket scientist. I am not a rocket scientist.
Disclaimer: nobody here is.
So yeah, 30,000 people watching right now. If you're joining us recently, so far we've seen a 6-engine preburner test and an aborted something, and we are waiting for more testing. There is about 2 hours left in the window, and Starship is still in a testing posture. It is not detanking. In fact, if anything, it is taking on additional locks, or either, if not taking on additional locks, it's just because that tank is full. Because look at all of that frost on there. This is
Yeah,
a
I would
vehicle-
feel pretty confident that this is going to another test right now again.
It's definitely a vehicle that wants to do some more testing.
Super Steve in chat asking is it just me or is the nose cone bluing? I just looked at it and I'm not seeing it. I think it might just be the shadow. Hard to tell exactly.
Sometimes the stainless like reflects the sky a little bit.
Yeah.
So let's do some math here. If the test was of 11:21:14,
Math time.
we had
Math time.
so we had about 20 minutes between the test and the abort.
Okay.
Basically, on the second 20 minutes. So
Alright.
the next one would be like that's just that's super rough. Anything right now, that doesn't mean anything. I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, I
But-
mean that's the data points that we have to go on. What more can we do?
Just fun looking at numbers right now. And the next one would be then 12:09:15. Of course, that's just very, very rough and just fun. But it's fun to look at these numbers. I like
Fair
numbers.
enough. Yeah. You numbers? What?
Yeah. Which would be in 2 minutes, by the way, if that is any meaningful.
Yeah.
Which would be the weirdest number ever to be meaningful in this test.
Well, like we were saying before, we're kind of in uncharted territory here at this point.
Yeah. Totally crazy test.
All right, it's $5 super chat from Chard Lowen, and our power was out, but then we got it back. The pre-burners fired within seconds. Perfect timing. Thank you for the commentary. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you everybody else who's popping in now from watching. We got 30.5 thousand. That's how numbers work. Every time I look at the ship 20, I keep on feeling like it's about to do something.
Right? So Hill in chat says ship 20 has a face. It kind of does.
I've seen people say that, and I'm trying to figure out where that is because I don't see it.
It's got the chains for the upper flaps are the eyes. At least that's what it looks like to me. And then the weld line between the nose cone and the nose cone barrel is the mouth. And that other
yeah.
chain is kind of like a nose. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's definitely got a face. Got a grouchy face.
I see what you're saying now. And I'm just not going to be able to unsee that. All right.
And that makes the TPS that much more like sideburns.
Now that we know that there was an abort, I'm watching way closer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
right. It's hard because sometimes the condensation obscures the base of the vehicle.
Yeah, we got that recondenser activity a little bit on that left side again.
Yep, chugging away.
Mm-hmm.
We have 31,000 watching this right now, which is awesome. We have 1,600 watching Starbase Live right now. If you have the ability to have two feeds up at once, don't forget about Starbase Live. It's got additional angles to help you further analyze what the heck might be going on right now.
If you have the screen real estate, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, I've just got my iPad here to the left of my main screens with Starbase Live on, basically at all times. It's helpful.
I'm using every device I have.
Adrian's like, I'm tank watching as hard as I can.
Yes.
Chaz NDFW with a $5 super chat and I like big foops and I cannot lie.
No.
Look at that venting that's going upwards.
Yeah, I was just about to point that out.
That right side aft flap. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Huh.
Always a new vent.
Always.
I don't know where that's coming from.
Yeah, me either. Curious. One thing we haven't seen today is the header tank frost up at all.
Yeah, not at all. And we had seen that with the previous preburner test that we had done, where there was actually venting like right up at that nose.
Yeah, it was some weird venting too. It was good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I always like seeing new things.
Yeah, it looked like Starship had a beard.
Yo, the mustache vent.
Wise Starship.
I think we called it the mustache vent at that evening.
I reject this name. I refuse.
Okay.
Sorry, the grumpy face on Starship is influencing me apparently.
But imagine now that with a mustache. Getting more and more condensation again.
Yeah, that frost too. It looks like just again more and more solid. There's a significant amount of frost on there, like we were talking about earlier.
Ooh.
Siren.
Mm-hmm. If you heard it, we have it. It's very subtle in the stream right now because once the potential static fire, were to happen, we don't want to blow out your speakers, right? But we just heard a siren there at the site.
So 12:15-ish.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. That means we are indeed going to get more engine testing.
Yeah.
Let's do a full up 6-engine static fire, pretty please. I'll be so happy.
That would be awesome.
I mean, not only will it be cool to see, it'll be an important step in this test program. First time they've ever done that.
$32,000 people.
Yeah, we're just keeping an eye on Starship. We don't want to be talking over the actual test, so you're gonna hear us talking pretty intermittently.
Yeah, and I do want to reiterate, Starbase Live, just bring it up on your phone, whatever other second screen you've got. It's just nice to have more angles. If you want them, you got them.
Siren is about 2 minutes ago, 2 to 3 minutes ago.
All right.
Good update, thank you.
Potential test imminent here.
And since people ask about it, there will be replay angles later. We just don't want to show a replay over potential new action coming.
Exactly.
It's like 7 minutes since the siren, something like that, right?
A little while ago.
About
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Should be looking at something happening any second here.
Oh man, my browser just. There you have it. That was a static fire.
There you go.
Yep, that was thrust. Wow.
Love hearing it.
My browser decided to take that moment to reload YouTube, so I saw a bright white flash on one window, and then looked over at my other window, and saw it happening. Way to go.
But that looked like, it's always only the first impression, but that looked good for my taste.
Yeah, certainly for our angle, right?
Sounded awesome, looked awesome, vehicle looks to be in good shape.
Yes. Great. The question is now, how many engines?
Also, what are we going to see further now? Are we going to be detanking?
Oh, good question. Yeah. Still.
Because it's plausible that they could do a 3-engine static fire test and the other 3-engine static fire test.
Yeah, I'm dying to know how many that was.
I'm
It
trying
certainly looked like a good amount of thrust generated there. Mary in our back channel saying it sounded like 6. That had to have sounded awesome.
There's one person I wouldn't doubt about the amount of engines getting from the sound. It's Mary.
Yeah, right? So typically we would see some detanking potentially. Would that already be happening, or?
Not necessarily.
Yeah. Well, I guess
Maybe.
the real question is, I just want to know if we're going to do a little bit more.
I mean, there's an hour and 45 minutes left in the window.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, if that was 6, can't wait to see 29 and then 33.
Right? My goodness. Can you even imagine?
Six engine static fire. I mean, the
Maybe.
first time they've ever done that, probably,
Yeah.
maybe.
I wouldn't go as far as confirming it yet. That we had 6. But let's see. I mean, this still is very, like, still not in a state where it looks like they're detanking.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. In chat, Jack, someone said 20 or 33 Raptors. I thought Starship or Super Heavy, excuse me, was 29.
The condenser and the vents are starting again.
Yeah, what? Okay.
It's going to start off right now. Booster 4, the Booster 4 series has 29 engines. I think starting with Booster 8 and above, it's going to have 33 engines.
Yep.
Look, we got that interesting vertical sort of vent again.
Yeah. Hear what that is.
Mary's saying she could hear each engine individually fire and could count them. So, I mean, I feel comfortable saying that was 6.
I mean, we saw that before, that they are kind of staging the ignition and starting it up in sequence. So that would make sense that the volume and the oh, is that a upper tank vent? Oh, here we go.
There you go.
Elon tweeted all 6 engines.
Yeah. So that was the first 6 engine static fire. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a little bit of Starship history made today. I mean, that's a pretty significant test. It's the first time they've fired all of the engines necessary for an orbital Starship.
And best we can tell, a successful test right now.
I mean, looked nice and clean.
Yeah.
They were able to do it basically immediately after an abort and immediately after a preburner test. So no shortage of ability to rapidly test in the
And
Starbase.
there's Elon Musk replying to our at NASA Spaceflight account, Chris Bergen's account. Good static
Good
fire
stuff.
with all 6 engines.
Yeah, 6 engines.
Loving it.
Yeah, super, super cool. Little bit of history made. All right, I can't.
Oh, now there
There
it
we
is
go.
right there. In
That
front
is a
of
Starbase plushie.
That is our Starship plushie. You can get them over on our merch store. Look at that. It's absolutely adorable. I don't know if we can see the bottom of it, but this, the bottom have, there you go, Michael's on it. There it is, the engines.
They cannot static fire. To be totally clear here, they cannot
yeah,
static,
no static
fire.
fire from our little plushie there, but you can pick that up over in our merch store. I absolutely love it.
It's amazing. I think it's about 12 inches tall, which is actually quite big for a plushie, and it's just delightful. So get it for your dog, get it for your kids, get it for yourself. But either way, get it now because it's extremely limited quantities. So we might be ordering more if they sell well, but this first batch, and it there's a little bit of a lead time to get them to us. So if you want a Starship plushie, get one now, or forever hold your breath.
Yeah, there's a pretty limited amount. Can those plushie engines gimbal? Manual gimbal on the plushie engines.
So now the tank farm on the left is active, which we didn't see in the recycles before that much.
Yeah. So
we don't have a depress vent or anything. I mean, there was that short, brief vent, but not sustained.
yeah,
And the flare stack isn't venting, or the vent stack isn't venting.
Yeah, but at least with the engine chill not going super strong, we are definitely fine here for talking a bit, I feel.
Yep,
yeah,
agreed.
it's going to be a little while before anything happens, and we'll be able to get to some super chats. I might have to just rapid fire them out. We got a lot now.
I wonder how
thank you
many.
guys.
I wonder
Go
how many
ahead.
tiles they lost, if any. I don't know if I
I
saw.
don't know. I
any.
saw more than none, as we said, come off
Okay.
on even just preburner.
But it doesn't look horrible on this
It's not
shot.
terrible, no.
Nope.
Oh, there are some of these these big vents that are going sometimes when they depressure the tank farm, I think. There's this one in the center that sometimes goes
Okay.
really high up.
All right. Well,
I really need to do like an overview of every single vent.
Yes. Oh my God, that would be so great. Just like a high-res image with each vent notated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like this good for fueling, this bad for fueling.
This good for remaining excited. This bad for remaining excited.
Yeah.
I'm kind of blown away that we've got to see a 6-engine firing today. I was
Yeah.
hoping,
I know.
I was hoping for it, but I'm not expecting it. That's really
Same.
cool.
I mean, I have for certain. I thought that the preburner there, but then when they didn't depressurize right away, I got very excited.
So that's the first time any Starship prototype fired with their full set of engines ever. Like
First of
that's
many.
the first one that really fired a full set. Before we always had 3 or 1, but now it's 6. That's the real deal. That
feels like-
can fly to orbit.
It feels like a big jump. Well, they didn't do 3 and then 4. They didn't do 3 and then 4 and then 5. They just went from 3 to 6.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
Michelangelo 90 coming through with the super chat that says that should have been the most thrust SpaceX has ever produced on a single core, right?
Yes. That should be. Like 6 Raptor engines should produce more thrust than 9
That's what-
Rollins.
Then
That's
the-
what 200 tons of
Monroe.
thrust per engine.
Yeah.
So 1,200 tons of thrust.
Well, wouldn't be from the
If
vacuum one.
if they fired at full thrust.
Yeah, which they likely
that's
didn't.
true.
But damn, that was cool.
I'm being told it's the most thrust for any single core rocket in the world right now, surpassing Proton M.
Oh, no kidding.
Not saying that that's what they generated right now during the static
But
fire
yeah,
test,
but
but
that's what
that's what Starship is capable of
Sure.
generating. That's madness. That really puts it into perspective.
Stuart Watson and also Striker XO, both with super chats, that kind of are saying the same thing. It seems the giveaway as to when they're going to light it is the activation of the sound/dust suppression water. I don't think I saw that. I might have to go through the footage later and take a look at it.
Oh, I think on the right, the flare stack is on. Like the vent stack, I should say.
Sure.
The vent stack is venting.
Yes. So, yeah, you can see it on the the 3 vertical tanks on the left, and in front of the left one, there's a vent stack.
Yep, it was 3 vertical
And-
water tanks, and then right there you can see it spewing
Yeah.
liquid oxygen. I assume.
Yeah.
It looks
And
like
you
we're
can
getting a
look,
little
you
bit. You're gonna talk about ship.
Yeah, the frost looks
Yeah,
like it's going
exactly.
away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it looks like, at least for the moment, they are spooling down.
Solid morning of testing. They got right into it today.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder what's going to happen with those tanks that we saw on the way earlier today.
Oh yeah, true.
All right. Well, I'm going to take this moment while we know that there's not going to be anything happening immediately to go through some super chats. And I know that a lot of y'all have some questions in here. I'm just going to try to read them and give some thanks. We got Ruben Gonzalez with a $5 super chat. Thank you very much. Nico Finkernagel. Thank you very much for the super chat. Marcus Persch, Voltus 3D, Atomic Engine Nerd, Alan Pratt, Cecil Man, Mithrika, B-Roll, The Gleason, Kame, DeBear Photography, JR, Gabriel Hall, DeBear Photography again, Modern Dice Gaming, Jarmo, Nycamp, Synchronize, Tubfall, Martin Lee, Mike Holtackers, Daniel McDan, Chad, The Tuba Man, Morpho Laugh, and then Trek 001 watching this in the pub on the big screen. Well, goodness, have one on me. Well, not on me, but for me. Andre rather, Gutam, Smooth Juice, Jur Horavat, Niels Brickmans, Gurgly, go up. I couldn't even hesitate to guess. Gurgly? Gurgelly? The Tuba Man again.
It's a valiant effort.
I'm doing my best, man. Gulyas? I don't know. Jennifer McKinney. Randall Smith. Emwee. Hyperfox. Ryan Wick. Turkle Olson. Stargazer Girl. Jennifer Hudson. Wes Gurney. Duke Nukem. Blazemonger. Jan Vipopnik. Cordy. Austin Barrick. Parker Imrie. Thank you guys very much. I think that's everybody. I might be cut off now. Goodness. So many super chats, guys. Thank you very much. And thank you everybody who's even just watching and also hitting that like button for us.
Yeah, and thanks to all of our new and current members.
Absolutely. All those new members popping in. Let's see what's it. Kirk Slaughter with a $5 super chat. Does Starbase have a launch control center, or is Elon pushing buttons from his prefab boxable?
That's hilarious. I don't think he actually lives in a boxable, but that's me. Yeah, there is a mission control, and it is Starbase. Or not Starbase, it's Stargate. That Stargate building with the flag out front that's over by the high bay. That is where their mission control is.
All right, I think we've got a replay spooled up, so let's take a look at the static fire here. Over on that. So the left side is not live. The right side is live. The left side, we've got our replay up. Let's take a look. We got Michael. Thank you very much for getting us going.
Watch it closely.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that we know that there was 6 engines thanks to that tweet from Elon.
Yeah.
Whoop. Quick Delta Heavy photobomb.
Yeah, sorry, I need to fix the audio, but we'll watch it once without audio, and then I will fix the audio, and we will watch it again with audio.
Copy.
Sounds good
Thank
to
you,
me.
Michael.
Does anyone want to make the audio for this one? No, please don't. Just kidding.
Make a big long foop. Oh, there we go.
Awesome.
There we go. Look at that.
See, that is thrust.
All right. So just like we said, Ship 20 has now performed a pre-burner static fire, or pre-burner fire. That's not a pre-burner fire. A pre-burner test and then a static fire test today now, and
Both look good.
yeah, both look good. I haven't seen like a final, like any sort of final depress quite yet.
Nope, but that vent stack is going, which is a good indication
Yeah.
of detanking. I feel like I'm seeing more missing tiles on the right side there. Like there's
Yeah.
shiny spots. Like there's multiple shiny spots inside that I don't think were there before.
A couple, and it's not too terribly bad though. Like I said, the thermal protection system continues to be sort of a big question mark for me, particularly. And
Oh, absolutely.
we'll see. We'll see where it ends up.
Okay, let's try this one more time.
All right, let's do it.
awesome.
Oh,
I love the
man.
force. Like, I love the force behind it.
Mm-hmm.
The sound is really powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just sounds awesome. Just raw power.
Yeah. Goodness. Well, Senti coming in with $1 super chat. Thank you very much. And the Tuba Man saying, could the missing tiles just be from the shockwaves bouncing off the ground? So like the idea being that, well, there we go, scrubbing through that footage, that because it's tethered to the ground, that's why it's actually missing those tiles just from that shockwave.
Yeah, I think Elon even tweeted something to the effect of, the situation for the tiles is worse during a static fire than actually in flight, something along those lines, and that could be part of it. Vent stack still venting.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
but still very frosty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like the frost started to go away, and then it might have even started up again. Maybe that's just a
Yeah.
function of emptying the tank out.
Could be.
Remember, left side is a replay.
Yeah, yeah.
So cool.
Love it.
I mean, that's a really clean engine firing. There's no honks or anything at the end of it. No. I mean, that's
Yeah,
just...
because we've talked to people who maybe don't know about the post-fire honk.
Yeah, that was a thing for a while.
Yeah, this sounded really just very clean. Like some engines spooling up, firing, shutting down.
Yeah, that's delightful.
$5 super chat from Nerd Plays Games is saying, thanks for the coverage, guys. Hey, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for the support. Yeah, so that area that was losing frost might be frosty again.
What's that? You say it might be craw?
Might be frosty again.
Yeah, still it's. I think it's pretty like sustainable right now with the frost. But I mean, it makes sense since we saw no real deep press, like big deep press vent. So there is probably still a load of fuel in there.
The vent stack is going though, but not super vigorously.
I still wonder why they filled it up so much. Like it's still interesting because they never, no way they used all of that.
Mm-hmm. No way.
Yeah,
but you're
no
right.
way at
That's a good question because they I mean they don't do that normally for a static fire.
Maybe it's another test they wanted to do.
Yeah. Or maybe it was necessary for firing 6 engines.
Jukes with a $2 Canadian super chat. Stay frosty, my friends. Well, the ship 20's on it.
And I got a replay of the preburner coming up here.
Okay, great. Yeah, because we did not get a replay of the replay of the preburner previously. because we were waiting for the static fire. Look at that.
That's so cool.
I almost like that more than the static fire.
Yeah, to be honest. Well, the static fire, you end up seeing a lot of dust. And I've always wondered what, like, some of the other workers, how they feel about having just all that dirt and dust kicked up onto whatever they were working on.
I mean, definitely a huge number of them have like face coverings, so at the very least they don't have to be breathing it. But yeah, all the surfaces out there are just dust riddled.
Yeah.
I love how the fire sort of consumes the locks coming out of those vents briefly
Right. Yeah.
as the fireball expands. That's so cool.
Mary had
has a very-
picture.
Oh yeah, we did get a really cool picture from Mary.
Hold on 1 second.
It has a
That was-
very Hopper-esque feeling
Yeah,
to it.
yeah, right. Agreed. Look at that. What a great photo.
Love it.
Oh my god, yes.
Someone needs to Photoshop like the "This is fine" dog in there somewhere. Like, this is fine.
Oh man, right? So that is a photo
by-
from Mary at Boca Chica Gal on Twitter. I'll bet that she has already tweeted something.
Yeah,
If
look
not,
at
will
that.
be.
Look at that
Yeah.
reflection on Booster 3. The reflection of the
Yeah.
red. What a great photo. I love it. You can even see the reflection in ship itself.
Mhm.
Awesome. All right, now don't recreate that with the Starship plushie. You will set your plushie on fire. It is not made of stainless steel. It's not a steely, it's a plushie. And the link for that is pinned in chat at the top of chat. If you haven't got it yet, get it now. They're going to go fast.
So, for anybody who wants to take a look a little bit closer at some of the replays and whatnot that we had, make sure that you check out this evening's daily video. We publish videos every single day about all the happenings over there at Boca Chica, with Mary and Nick taking photos and videos for us. And we will have all sorts of angles, all sorts of slow-mo replays and whatnot upcoming in the video tonight.
Yeah, I don't know what the plan is quite yet, but we might even do, I don't know if we might do a static fire video real quick and get that done and out. We might do a static fire video and a daily video. So either way, stay tuned to the channel, subscribe if you haven't already, and there will be fantastic multi-angle replays of this event in a video coming to a YouTube near you.
Yeah, speaking of subscribing, we are very close to a milestone of 500,000.
Very, very close.
on,
Just 6,000
on
away.
YouTube.
I mean, I can't imagine that anybody watching right now isn't subscribed. But if you are, hit that subscribe button, and then you'll be able to catch up and keep up with all the happenings that are going on.
We should have mentioned that when we were at 30K people watching.
Yep.
That would have been
Yeah.
a good idea. At that point, though, we were like, "Is it going to fire any second now?"
Yeah,
Quiet,
exactly. We're just
quiet.
afraid to talk. Tiller's coming in with a super chat saying, "Amazing how small and the wiry top part of the Raptors is now compared to the first versions."
Yeah, first versions had a whole bunch of extra stuff on there, and I imagine even the ones that we're currently used to seeing have a bunch of extra stuff on there. And whenever we get to Raptor 2, that is going to be a much cleaner design, I think, is even what Elon said in that Tim interview where they went through the factory. So definitely excited to see the continued evolution of the Raptor engine as it gets cleaner and cleaner.
The Easy Cajun coming in with a $20 super chat. Thank you very much for the support.
What's going on with the test tanks? Yeah, let's look at that. Are they just hanging out still over by the shed in the restaurant off LBJ? Is that LBJ? I always get the two roads confused over there.
I have not been there, and I don't know which the roads are or which.
It looks like they had a fight because they're no longer.
Yeah. It's like, I ordered the hamburger, you ordered the fish steak. I was like, what? No, I ordered the hamburger, and now they're not happy with each other.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know what a fish steak is. Don't at me.
Yeah, I was about to ask. It looks like that one is just waiting close to the roadblock.
Yep. That is the GSE-4 test tank. It is made of parts of GSE-4, which is why we call it that.
It's Morgan Day asking, is there detailing? I think they mean perhaps detanking, or do we think there's more action? We haven't seen any sort of depression vent as yet.
That's true.
Right? So I don't know. We could be seeing a
It looks
little
at
bit more
least like this tank farm is spooling down. So
Mhm.
at least that is an indicator they are spooling down on that regard.
Yeah, but I feel like we've seen more depression vents from the vehicle itself in previous tests, so I don't know.
Yeah, there's sort of two components to detanking that we can normally see, and one is that flare stack, now vent stack going, and one is the sustained double or triple vent from the vehicle itself, and one that is sort of on and continuously on until it peters out and visibly loses velocity and pressure. So we have not seen any kind of vent like that from the vehicle itself. In chat has predictably latched on to fish steak.
Yeah, there was a question directly after that sentence with when fish steak.
I like it. So from Devil Riser with a £2 super chat, could the extra locks be to suppress vibrations?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, that's a fair guess.
Could be, yeah.
Wow, $100 super chat.
Yeah,
from
coming in from
the Easy
Easy
Cajun.
Cajun. Lots of fuel loaded for the test fire to maintain a required level of structural integrity during a full 6-engine fire.
That's actually, yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So that you would load those tanks fully so that they have more structure. In the same way, the comparison that we always give is like a can of soda or pop. When it's full and closed, it's really hard you can't like crush it just with your hands, but as soon as you have that open, you're able to crush that because there's not as much pressure. So if you keep that pressurized, it's a little easier to keep that structural integrity, and that could be what's going on here.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
All right, make sure you at NASA Spaceflight with any questions, and I will hopefully be able to see them and get to them if we can. Right now, we're just holding to see if they're going to be detanking, see if we can see a final depression vent of Ship 20. I actually really like watching the final depress.
Yeah, I mean, it looks cool, especially when you consider how big the vehicle itself is, and
exactly that
thus
plume
how
is just
big those.
gigantic.
Yeah, it's wild. It's really wild. Frost looks as thick as ever.
It does, yeah, absolutely. Christian Sampson in chat asking, is the last thing that needs to be done now the test fire for Super Heavy before we can launch? I mean, aside from all of the regulatory red tape that needs to be gone through. Yeah, I suppose the next round of testing might be for Booster 4.
Yeah, we might see Booster 3 scrapped sooner than later, or maybe they'll just wait till the orbital pad is ready, because they sure as heck can't fire all 29 Raptors on suborbital pad A. Yeah, we'll just have to sort of wait and see what happens.
Yeah, and
There could also be the case that they want to fire Ship 20 more. I mean, that's not
that could also
totally
be. It could just be
out
more
of
testing.
the question.
Maybe they'll have more of a sustained static fire. That's absolutely not out of the question. but one step closer to super heavy static fire, certainly. Let's see. Jakob Dolazal asking, what of SN15 and SN16? Any movement, anything, any news at all? I don't think that there's going to be anything going on with SN15 or 16, not to my knowledge. I don't know if you know anything, Jack, but I think that they're, at this point, mostly trophies.
Yeah, I think they're basically retired. Now they're gate guards.
Yeah, I would watch them as ornaments right now and just sitting there and be like a statue. But I don't think there will ever be anything happening to them. Besides maybe replacing them.
Yeah, I mean, you could see them being moved somewhere for display.
I'd be really sad if they ever got rid of SN16 or like scrapped one of them.
Yeah.
Because they kept SN5 and SN6 around for a long time, months, but eventually scrapped them. I hope 15 and 16 stick around.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm kind of sad that they decided to remove 5 and 6, and
Me too.
because I always thought they were some sort of like Starship generation, and it would be cool to have like Hopper and then like SN5 or SN6 around, and then SN8 or 9, and then 15 or 16.
Yep, that would have been really nice. I'm sad that wasn't the case, but they're going to have so many test articles in the course of this whole Starship system build out and prototyping that you can't keep every vehicle, because then you're just going to have like a massive wasteland of of test articles. But,
yeah, that's definitely true.
But keeping some would be nice, that's for sure.
If we look
I
at
want
that,
to correct myself, by the way. Of course you can't keep 8 or 9 around. They had a different fate.
Yeah, they not intact, certainly. Over on that left side, we actually can see. Now on the right side, that angle there. It looks like we can see some of the frost on ship 20 diminishing. Is that?
Yep. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
And then we got our other tanks.
They're friends again.
Our friends again. They're over on the way.
I feel like the biggest traffic jam of all time is coming for this highway.
Goodness, right? Everybody's now trying to be able to get through. Plus, we've got
before
we have it for until 2 p.m. Central, right? So that's about another hour and 10 minutes.
Yep.
Yes.
This is a good question. Is it ship 22 that is made of 3.6 millimeter steel? So ship 20 that we just watched have a preburner test and then static fire test is made of 3.96 millimeter steel. And now we have a new test article that it's ship 22, correct?
Yeah, I think it's the nose cone barrel of ship 22 is made with 3.6 millimeter, which
So
is
just a
thinner.
little bit thinner,
And
yeah.
will save mass for sure.
What we also should mention is that it's not only ship 22 around, but yesterday actually ship 23 and booster 6 were spotted.
Yes, I
Parts.
actually edited the daily video. We saw booster 23 and then a little bit, or excuse me, ship 23, and then that's way ahead, and then a little bit of booster 6 getting put together.
So it's like a conveyor belt of some sorts. Many ships, many boosters in production.
Yeah, it's truly wild. The machine
Dominic,
that builds the machines is in full swing.
Yeah, absolutely. Dominic E with a super chat coming in asking or saying, looking forward to the 11-hour streams of the orbital flight. I love tank watching. Well, Dominic, thank you very much for hanging out with us. Appreciate you a ton. Absolutely.
Yeah, I always laughed when I was not on them, but watched them. I always loved these stakeout streams before a big flight, and I was trying to get free time and try to not work at that day so I could watch all the stakeout and then hang out and chat. That was always fun. So I totally know the excitement of watching that and being hyped for the flights.
Alan Curtis in chat here saying, "You mean Booster 6 forcibly being put together?" Yeah, they were hammering at it yesterday, getting the sleeving done.
Nothing wrong with a little percussive maintenance or assembly, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does look like that frost is receding a little bit now.
Yeah, absolutely. D. Smith saying at NASA spaceflight, integrity comes from pressure, not from liquid volume. And I don't know if maybe I misspoke earlier when we were talking about.
That's what you said. You know, when you have a closed can and the can is closed and has that pressure, it's not easy to crush it. Versus when the can is open and does not have that same pressure integrity.
Okay, I'm just making sure that I didn't misspeak there.
I don't think so.
Also, you have always the case with these minus 100, minus 200 degrees Celsius liquids. They boil.
Yeah. Right?
If you don't cool them, they boil and increase the pressure.
Yeah, and its cryogenic temperature starts at negative 150 degrees Celsius, which is negative 238 Fahrenheit, I think, if I'm remembering. So it's very, 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 very cold. Colder than you can even really barely imagine. I like this.
And maybe two. Okay,
go ahead.
No.
From Mateus Aldonate. How many grain silos existed in the history of Starship? That's a very good question, actually. I wonder.
Let me. Oh my god, that would be hard to count. So we had MK1 and MK2. We had SN1. SN2 was a test tank, so I don't know if that counts. Like then we SN3, SN4, SN5, SN8, SN6, SN8, 9, 10, 11, 15, and 20. On the booster side, we had was it 1, 3, and 4? I think it was 1, 3, and 4.
Yes, and now we're seeing 5 assembled over in is it high bay or mid bay?
High bay.
Yeah, okay.
But that should be every major tank. I don't think I missed one.
I don't think you did either. I think you got it, actually. All right, flipping through the chat, and make sure that you do type in at NASA Spaceflight if you have any questions that you'd like for us to answer quick.
I forgot 16, sorry. Yeah, I forgot one.
Garvin asking, how far is B4, Booster 4, in construction? When will it be complete? I don't know if we have... Go ahead. I think he's just asking, because they keep on doing more and more maintenance on it. We're seeing them work on it a little bit yet. I don't know if we have any sort of official word or timeline as far as Boosters 4 completions is concerned.
Yeah, it looks like they so Booster 4 is the one that is behind Ship 20 in this camera angle, right now?
Yeah, yes.
And it looks like they do some sort of shielding or like something in that regard on the engines, which they're working on. We see sometimes that they're replaced engines and removed engines and then put new engines in. Some works on the COPVs and all the plumbing.
Mm-hmm.
So they are always working on Booster 4. It doesn't seem like it's the high priority right now, but there's constant work on it.
Yeah, there's always somebody over there. Well, I mean, maybe not right now, but otherwise there's always somebody over there working on it. From Joshua DeWeese, how long do you think it'll be before Ship 21 and Booster 5 are finished? I don't know. It's hard to say because we don't. It's hard to tell. If you mean by finished, you mean the larger structure being fully completed? Because Booster 4, you could argue is not yet finished, right?
Booster 5.
I mean
yeah,
booster
sorry.
4. Yeah, like because they're still
Yeah.
working on it, just like we were saying.
Yeah,
So,
I would also put a define finish.
Yeah, exactly. So, as
If you
far
go-
as the final construction of all of the larger components to be able to actually see the full height of it, we're definitely approaching it there at this point.
Yeah. I would say with Booster 5, we are at this point talking days before it's fully stacked. And even chip 21 is like we have the upper part of the nose cone is stacked. Tank section I think is stacked.
Yeah.
So it's only like the final pieces coming together, and then you have chip 21 and Booster 5 stacked. Yeah.
Yeah, in the next couple of weeks or days, even we could see Ship 21 leave the mid bay and head over to the high bay for nose cone attachment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Stephen Porter asking, have they changed the tile fixings on SN22, or it'll be Ship 22, I guess, to stop them falling off? I think that it's actually the same mounting points. Am I wrong on that? Or do we know?
I think largely the same. I haven't heard of any updates or anything.
Yeah, I've not, because we've seen it physically, so I don't. They look the same.
And
from
it's really
the angles that I've seen.
I don't think we have any visibility into if they use any kind of adhesive or if it's just a mechanical attachment, or if they do use any sort of adhesive, any sort of changes between one adhesive or the other, or the insulating pad that we see them put on, that white blanketing. Maybe they've changed materials for that or thickness of that, but all of these things are not really super apparent to cameras or the naked eye. So it's really hard to say in that respect. I bet it's basically the same though.
Yeah, so more or less the same as far as we can tell right now. James Hartford is asking, what is booster testing going to be like? Loud.
Awesome.
Is my assertion.
Cold.
Cold too, yeah. I like it. Here's a question for you, Jack, from Derek Mertz. First off, great name. I'm planning a road trip pilgrimage to South Padre Island in December. Any tips on visiting Starbase or bird watching?
Bird watching, huh? That's an interesting one. There is like a whole birding trail. I'll have to find the website and tweet it at some point. But there's there's a bunch of different spots to do birding around there. You can even go out to the I haven't tried this in COVID times or whatever, but I've read about this online. You can go out to the landfill there and climb up on there, and there's apparently a bird watching spot out there. But yeah, definitely enjoy your trip. Be safe when driving around Starbase. There's a lot of traffic and cars pulling in and pulling out, so definitely want to be careful. And even though it's hard not to gawk at Starship and all of the cool stuff, just make sure you keep your wits about you in terms of operating a 2-ton kill machine. Maybe go check out Sea Turtle Inc. Definitely, just have fun. Don't go in with any expectations. Spend some time hanging out on Boca Chica Beach and just staring at starships, and you'll have a good time. It'll be hopefully a blast for you.
My plan when I finally go there will be beach and Starship.
Yep.
That's everything.
Yeah.
It's so wild being hanging out on the beach and just looking over and seeing Starship and the orbital launch site and just being like, what is going on right now? How is this real life?
Right.
Yeah.
It's delightful.
An interesting question that I don't know the answer to, and I wonder if either of you guys might. At NASA Spaceflight from Mr. Loop. What will be the first Starship with updated forward flap placement? Always love watching the streams. Well, first off, Mr. Loop, thank you very much for watching. But as far as updated forward flap placement, I don't know anything about changes in the forward flaps.
Elon has said that they're going to move the forward flaps further towards the leeward side. So they, rather than being sort of 180 degrees opposed, they'll be more, closer to each other and further away. And part of that also has to do with the static arrow, which is the part, the hinge, if you think about it, the part of the flap that doesn't move, but that's not part of the cylinder that is Starship. That static arrow is, I guess, part of the problem for the forward flaps and heating of that static arrow. So moving them further back is supposed to be helpful for that. And I think they're also going to get smaller.
Okay.
So definitely some big changes coming to how Starship will look and how those forward flaps will look. I think Ship 21's nose cone is the same design as we're used to, so it would have to be Ship 22 and or higher. I think is when we would start to see that.
Yeah,
There's
at least.
there's several nose cones in the nose cone tent in tent 3 right now. I think 2 of the new smooth, like new and improved design. So maybe it's one of those ends up being a structural test article or a pathfinder, and then another one of them ends up being the first nose cone with updated flaps. I'm
Yeah.
just assuming that the new and improved nose cone design will be the one that ends up getting new flap placement, but that's just my guess. I mean, I don't see them continuing to make the old nose cone much longer, if at all. Maybe S21 might be the final nose cone of its type, or near final nose cone of its type.
And from this angle, we have a really good view of all that frost that was on
Yep, definitely going away.
the LOX tanks. Those are going away.
Mhm.
Still have not seen a final depression vent yet.
Nope. And they haven't opened the road for the test tanks yet, but definitely seems like we're spooling down here slowly and surely.
I'm looking forward to seeing the depression vent. From Voyager 81, hi, just a guess, but maybe they loaded so much LOX to be sure that the thrust of 6 Raptors wouldn't pull the stand out of the concrete. So I guess the thought there is just loading so much liquid oxygen for the weight of it.
You're kind of using Starship as a counterweight.
Mm-hmm. Sure, just to keep the thrust to weight ratio below 1.
I mean, it's not unlikely, I would say. I think it's one of these things where not one is the answer, but a combination of a lot of things. And look at that angle.
Look at that angle, yeah. Somebody was asking before about why is Ship 20 so close to the other vehicles. As you can see from here, it's kind of not. It's actually a good distance away. It's just that with telephoto lenses, especially when they're zoomed in quite as much as we are, it is going to have some compression. It's going to make things look like they're very close to each other, even if they're not. I love that angle.
Or Starship prototypes were in that angle. On this screen, by the way, as well. We have Booster 3, Booster 4, Starship 20, and Hopper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And from that other angle, you can see how far Booster 4 is away, but on this screen now, it looks like it's just looming right behind Ship 20. Here's a good question. Someone's asking, what is the purpose of the robot dogs? The robot dogs, we actually saw them pretty up close recently in one of our daily videos. They are to very safely go around and be able to check out the site so that, there's no risk of anybody getting hurt. So you were able to, if you wanted, have a robot dog go right up to a vehicle that has just test fired and inspect it and see if there's anything that's going on, if there's anything that can be assessed, and to do that in a very, very safe manner.
These are one of the Boston Dynamic robots, right?
Yeah, so we've got the two Boston Dynamic robots. I'm trying to remember the names now. I always forget.
Zeus and Apollo.
Zeus and Apollo, that's what it is. Thank you. And that's a specific reference to something too, beyond just the Greek mythology reference, right? I thought it was. I feel like
Good
I remember
question.
hearing that, like it was named after someone else's 2 dogs or something like that. I don't remember now. Oh, so the dogs in Magnum PI, that's what it is. There you go.
Oh, perfect.
I knew it was something. I couldn't remember.
I have no idea what that is.
Well, fair enough. Oh, look at that angle. And then from this angle, obviously, just like we were saying before, now the remnants of Booster 3 looks like it's very, very close to Ship 20. Anyway, Adrian, it's a very old TV show.
Yeah, I see some people are very passionate about that. Right
I
now
knew
in
it
the
was from
chat.
something. I couldn't remember exactly what it was. I knew it was a reference to something. Jim Cavett asking in the chat, have I missed the chopsticks moving up and down the tower yet? They have not yet moved up and down the tower. We've seen a little bit of a wiggle side to side, but nothing up and down as yet. Looking forward to that one. Let's see, from Jorgen Iverson, Booster needs to take the mass of Starship on launch. I don't know if that's a question or just a reference to us talking about the thrust of weight of those tests from earlier. Katya T with a $2 super chat. Thank you very much, Katya. And then also Kirby Shabaga. Thank you very much for the new membership, new PadRat member. Here's one that I think we have an answer for. Let's see. Axe Wonka asking, do we know if they've done any supersonic small-scale wind tunnel testing like they did with the space shuttle?
I don't think we know, but it wouldn't surprise me the least. If not, even just to validate their own models, their own computer models.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't actually know though. From Stephen Porter here, where are the SpaceX doing the drawings of and plans for starships? Do they have drawings offices in Boca Chica, or do they have like a central design studio for all projects? I guess he's asking where they're being designed and planned.
I think they have. I mean, they would have to have the ability to design up parts in Boca, just because they're constantly fabricating parts and coming across, oh, we need a part that does this. Let's just make it and weld it here and stuff of that nature. I'm do not work as an aerospace engineer though, so I couldn't even begin to wrap my head around how that whole system actually works.
Yeah, I would imagine that that they have some sort of decentralized process where they probably I mean, it is known that there are engineers in Boca Chica, there are engineers in Hawthorne, and I would imagine that there's some sort of working together on projects, which is very possible over the air.
Like this one from John Keese, we're talking about Magnum PI. If David Hasselhoff was in Magnum PI, Adrian might know about it.
I know Hasselhoff.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Just waiting for the depress event.
Yeah, waiting for that final depression event.
Really cool day today. I mean, we got a first ever 6-engine static fire. What a day.
Yeah,
and apparently we're going to get the test tank stuff happening soon as well, now that they're headed to the pad.
I'm really interested to see what those are eventually going to be for, because I don't actually know.
Yeah, some kind of structural proof testing of some sort. I wonder if they'll be used in concert with each other or separately, or how that's all going to pan out. Sorry, Adrian, what were you going to say?
I mean, the one tank has this booster test stand below it, right? There are like pistons of some sort on that.
Yep.
So it most likely will simulate like we saw on previous cryogenic tests, for example. It will simulate the thrust that a booster has to survive when all the engines are firing.
But it's a ship aft dome inside of a booster skirt. with a booster forward section and dome. It's the weirdest test tank. B2.1 is the weirdest test tank I think they've made yet.
Okay, then have no idea, and
No,
I
I mean,
surrender.
what you said could what you said could still be right. It's just an interesting choice of a way to test anything for a booster with something with a ship aft dome. But yeah, booster forward section, booster skirt, ship dome, and that right tank, which is B2.1, not to be confused with BN 2.1, which is a previous test article. So we're about just over 45 minutes away from end of the road closure as scheduled at 2 p.m. local.
Mm-hmm. From Jorgen Iverson asking, any Raptor 2 static fire? Is he meaning from like
McGregor?
McGregor? Yeah.
I think we have gotten it confirmed that Raptor 2 has been on the stand, but I don't think we've seen any footage of a Raptor 2 firing or known footage as of yet. I could be mistaken. I could have missed it. But they are testing Raptor 2. We have not seen one yet in Boca, I do not believe.
No,
I
don't believe we've seen anything.
I think when we see a Raptor 2, we'll know it's a Raptor 2 pretty much immediately.
Well, because sort of Elon was saying in that interview with Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut, who's great, by the way. You should check him out on YouTube after this. But he was saying that the actual design of it will be much simplified. So if you've seen a Raptor close up in some of our daily videos, you'd be able to see all of the plumbing and all of just, there's so much to it. It looks just like spaghetti. It just looks like a mess. But Raptor 2 is supposed to be much more simplified, and I think that we'd be very easily able to tell the difference between the previous Raptor and the Raptor 2.
Sure enough.
Quark Quinn with a Capcom member for now for 14 months. Thank you all for so much fantastic, unprecedented Starship experience. Quark, thank you very much for watching.
No, I'm just thinking of Deep Space Nine.
Right? From Nick Lewis, he's got a $5 super chat saying, will we see the booster take advantage of Raptor deep throttling to do thrust vectoring on ascent instead of gimbaling? I don't know if I fully understand that. What is deep throttling?
Deep throttling is the ability of an engine to throttle very low to a very low amount of thrust versus what it's rated for. I think what they're talking about is like differential thrust instead of thrust vector, instead of actually like gimbaling the engine using differential thrust to add some measure of control authority, which is wild to me. But hey, it's been done with airliners in emergencies, so who knows? I think they're going to build in enough gimbal to do what they need to do, but who knows? Maybe differential thrust is going to end up being part of their plan, if that is indeed what you're asking. I think that is the spirit of the question, though.
Yeah, I think you're right. From Felix Felice, with the lack of major detanking, are they purging through the farm?
Actually, we saw it sometimes there is a really long break between the test ending and the final depress vent, and sometimes it's quite instantly. So there are definitely some, I would say, some different approaches to detanking or some different processes, but I mean, we never really, I think, saw a test without the big depressor. So
yeah, I mean, I think it's probably a fair chance they're trying to recapture as much of that LOX as possible, given that there is a shortage right now. And yeah, they'll still do a big depress at some point, but maybe they don't just want to crack open the tanks and let it vent till pressure's equalized because they're trying to capture every last bit of it back. That's possible to me.
It could happen any second now. Maybe right now. It was worth a try.
And no. Dap dude in chat saying the N1 used differential thrust.
That's wild.
Oh man.
That's wild. I did not know that.
Well, the N1 was also canceled, so
It also blew up a bunch. So
yep, like a lot.
It went from differential thrust to no thrust.
Big Pod responding to Dap Dude in chat saying N1 used differential destruction.
there you go. Yeah, highly
no.
accurate. Very accurate description.
Yeah.
Both statements are true.
Brady Gaming asking in chat, is there possible for them to do another one or no? So our window ends at 2 p.m. Central, so in about 45 minutes, a little less than at this point. So I think that at this point we could say they're probably not going to do another preburner or static fire test. There just wouldn't be enough time.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I would say they need a full recycle, because this doesn't look like a state where you are anywhere close to firing, and a full recycle at best takes at least 40-ish minutes.
Yeah.
So we are approaching the point pretty fast where they won't probably do another fire. If I was wrong, you can just clip this part of stream and put it over the static fire that came after this.
Yeah, and you know what? It's still I really like seeing a final depress, but we might end up wrapping up our commentary stream here and check out Starbase Live for that depress, and then we'll be able to see the depress in multiple angles all at the same time as well.
Yeah, that works for me.
All right, so while we have a second here, let's go around the horn again one more time. Firstly, we've got Mr. Adrian Beal.
Yes.
Shoot.
Bile.
Bile. Do you know what the word bile means in English?
Hatchet.
Or like that? Oh, that's what that translates to.
Yeah, it's hatchet.
Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. All right. Well, that's way better than my last name.
I guess.
Sure. Well, Adrian is a writer here over at SpaceX. Goodness, at NASA Space Flight at BC Oh my gosh, I am just losing it. BC Car Counters, the Boca Chica car counter himself, with all of the spreadsheets. Adrian, thank you very much for joining us today. We also, of course, have Mr. Jack Beyer, the Jack Beyer. Jack, thank you very much for joining today. Thank you for double duty today, man. You had the super early covered stream that we had. Goodness, what time was that for you now?
Felt like 3 a.m., but no worries.
Goodness. All right. Well, thank you very much for hanging out. I am DK at Declarations on Twitter and also Declarations on Twitch.tv. And then, of course, pulling all the strings in the back, we've got Mr. Michael Baylor. You want to make sure Michael's on there. There you go. Michael, thank you very much for pulling all the things. Clicking everything out.
And of course, thanks to Mary out in the field for bringing us those
Absolutely
up close views. But for now, go to Starbase Live, everybody. Go to Starbase Live and enjoy.
Thank you guys very much.